What's going on, my fellow Nails? Welcome into another Forward Progress live watch along right here, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook. Tonight, it's the Rams. I tried to do some yellow lighting behind me. Kind of turned out there. It's the Rams and the Saints tonight. Interesting matchup. Kind of looking forward to it. I decided today I wanted to originally do Bailey's on Ice to support Ian McMillan here tonight. But I said, nah, it's going to be a rum and eggnog night tonight. Got my classic Beatrice eggnog here. I like to go spiced rum. The little Captain Morgan spice. You can see I've been into it already. Going to be a night tonight. Going to be a night. See a lot of the nails in here already. And prior to the show today, some stuff I agree with, some stuff I disagree with. But I'll get to all of it over the course of the show. Before we get into it, a couple of things of note. Banger cast of guests tonight. First quarter. You might have heard me before on this broadcast during a Raiders game continuously refer to Aiden O'Connell as Aiden O'Sullivan. Well, we have the real Aiden O'Sullivan on in the first quarter tonight. Years ago, he called me up, said, Pizzola, I want you on the Matchbook podcast. I said, all right, Sully. And now he'll be joining me as a guest tonight, whatever time it is in Ireland right now. It's late. It's the morning. Top of the morning to you, Sully, when he gets on here. I don't know. Can I say that? Is that insensitive? I think that's a very traditional Irish phrase. He's joining me in the first quarter. Whale Capper, Drew Dini, second quarter. Third quarter. If you watched a recent episode of Circles Off, I had on a college student who's done very successful betting, moving for other people as well. Giants Badgers, a.k.a. Aaron, in the third quarter. And fourth quarter, we cap it off with Dr. Eric Eager. A little bit jealous of all the doctor talk on our last live watch along. Dr. Johnny Sins is coming up quite a bit. I'm just glad the Irishman in the chat supports. No, Sully's all good. We'll talk to him in the first quarter. He just went on to do other stuff. Good cast tonight. Before we get into the bets, as always, which side? This side. I'm horrible at this. I always screw this up. I don't know why I can't do this. Why can't my finger go that way? This way. Pinnacle. If you're in Ontario or if you're in Canada, and you're going to bet this game right now, at the very least, do yourself a favor. Bet it at a sportsbook that has a great price. Great odds in market all the time. Bet smart, bet Pinnacle. In business for the last 25 years for a reason. If you do sign up to Pinnacle, use code HAMMER. It does support us here on Forward Progress as well. Must be 19 plus, not available in the U.S. And as always, please play responsibly. I'm giving out bets before the show. Make sure you're not chasing losses, sweating anything over the course of the holiday season here. Holiday season, get together with family, enjoy it. Don't need to destroy your bankroll with bad bets. Start with the game total tonight. Let's break down the game side and total. Don't really actually have a strong opinion on the side of the game. Market is just kind of hung around 4 this entire week for the most part. Saw it get up to 4.5, come back down a little bit. And that's where we're sitting right now across the board. That's pretty much my number on the game. I don't have any sort of advantage there one way or another. What we did see in the early going, I think opening total 44.5, bet up, ticked up, touched 47, been bet down. At the current market prices, 45, 45.5, I actually like the over in this game. We rarely do this 9 minutes before the show, but Jason, go ahead, lock in that over 45. And we'll play that for a half unit. It's not a huge edge at this point, but $50. I'm cheering for the over in this game. One thing in particular about this game, I do like let's see, moving in real time here. 107, even better. Always great when the price moves in your favor. Good matchup for Derek Carr. If there ever was one, the Rams really struggle. Derek Carr really struggles against cover 2. The Rams play a very low rate of cover 2 in the league. I've talked about Derek Carr's defenses that he wants to play before. His success rate, EPA, very solid versus cover 3, even cover 6, which the Rams mix in as well as part of their D packages. I like the matchup for Carr. He gets Olave back. On the other side of the ball, right now I'm a big fan of this Rams offense. With Kyren Williams back there, they can run the ball. They can pass the ball. Just looking at how the Saints line up, there's depth issues at cornerback. Marshawn Lattimore's on IR. Cameron Dantzler is out. Paulson Adebo has been great this year. Isaac Yiadom, I always mispronounce his name, solid. Alontae Taylor in the slot is going to see a lot of Cooper Kupp. That's a no bueno matchup for the New Orleans Saints. Aside from that, health issues wise, pretty clean game. Ryan Ramczyk is out at right tackle for the Saints again. Not a huge issue against the Rams, who don't generate a lot of pressure from the outside. I see this as a game where we can see a lot of points. Into the props we go. Typically speaking, I kind of let you guys in on my process. I like to target some injury situations usually and see where props haven't been adjusted a whole lot. There's not really a lot of that tonight with Chris Olave back. I'll start with the Rams. I don't like a ton. I know that Tyler Higbee is back now. And previously, a few weeks ago, their backup tight end, when Higbee was out, was week 14. Davis Allen had a monster game, was targeted quite a bit. He got a lot of usage again last week, even with Higbee back. They did a lot of 2 tight end sets against Washington. Allen played 26 snaps overall. I think his prices still warrant betting him in the touchdown market. So we're going to play him anytime touchdown for $10 at 10-1. Widely available price. If you wanted to, you can go all the way down to plus 900 here, 9-1 or better. So play that for $10. And then we're also going to play him in the first touchdown market as well, where I just think his price warrants it at 50-1. And we'll go $5 on that. Tutu's back. Yes. Demarcus Robinson would have been an option, borderline option, but he's not anymore. Other side of the ball. This is where we're going to target our props for the New Orleans Saints. Going to start with Jamal Williams, and I'm going to play his under on rushing attempts. I know a lot of people are looking at him the last few weeks, and they're like, Jamal Williams is getting way more involved here. He is. Got 11 carries, 8 carries the last 2 weeks. What could be the reason for that? Well, the New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, Saints were leading for the majority of those games, and they just put Williams in the game, and they handed the ball off a lot. They're now a 4-point underdog. The likelihood that they're leading for the whole game is way less. I'm going to play the under 5.5 carries, good to minus 135. And we're going to do that for a half unit for $50. The ultimate sweat type of bet here. That's where we're starting. Next, if you really want to be miserable tonight, join me in betting Derek Carr over on passing yards. You heard it, over on passing yards. The guy who likes to check down 78 times a game. I actually think he's going to take some shots downfield today. The offense is completely different with Olave and Shaheed both on the outside. Rams don't have a great pass rush. I think this number is too low with Olave in the lineup. 230.5, widely available. We're playing the over for a full unit. 100 beans. Derek Carr. The one player, as I finalize our last props here, that I'm going to go balls deep on tonight is Foster Moreau. I see a lot of love for Jimmy Graham in the chat here. I definitely don't like Juwan Johnson. Foster Moreau in the last 3 weeks has been on the field for 40 snaps, 33 snaps, 45 snaps. It's a lot of Foster Moreau. Now, granted, they've been leading in a lot of those games, and subsequently, Juwan Johnson didn't see the field for a lot. They have Taysom Hill at tight end. They have Jimmy Graham at tight end. It's a very Very mixed. But this number is way too low, in my opinion, for Foster Moreau. 7.5 receiving yards. We're going over. We'll do that for let's do $75 here. And then we'll go to the touchdown markets for Foster Moreau as well. We'll play anytime touchdown. 13-1 at Canby Books. Go ahead. Fire that. $10 is good, Jason. And then first TD, as always, 60-1, widely available. Looking for that big cash on Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau is kind of like, you guys watch the streams all year long. You know, Colby Parkinson is my guy, my number one. Foster Moreau might be my number two. Jason, let's do a quick review here really quickly of what we got in my picks for tonight. Over 45 in the game at the bottom of the screen. Davis Allen in the touchdown markets for the Rams. We're going Jamal Williams on the under rushing attempts. I'm trying to give myself a stroke before Christmas here by betting under 5.5 rush attempts. The most fun of wagers to cheer for. Derek Carr over on passing yards. Oh my God, I can't even believe I put this card together tonight. Just when you think it can't get any worse, people. You fired Jamal Williams under rush attempts and Derek Carr over passing yards in the same game. And then my boy, Foster Moreau. I might just go out and get myself a Foster Moreau jersey tonight if he has a big game. That's how much I'm a fan. Great story. Came back. Had a horrible drop in a game earlier this year that people will never forget. But he's my guy. That's going to be it for the props. For the most part, I see Anon here asks, Carr over 1.5 TDs plus 135. I just saw up on the broadcast that I think the Saints are undefeated when he throws 2 touchdowns or more. I don't know. I honestly think it's not a bad game for Carr. Famous last words that I'm going to say that. But the coverage schemes for the Rams, I think, are catered to what Derek Carr wants to do. Especially the cover 6 that they play a lot of. That means a lot of underneath to Alvin Kamara in the flats where he can do some stuff. That's going to be it. All right. Before we get to our first guest here, I just want to remind everyone, if you haven't smashed that like button down below, make sure you smash that like button down below. Goes a long way for the YouTube algorithm. The computers, they say, yeah, a bunch of people smashing the like. People like this stream, and they filter it up to other people. So smash that like button down below. If you're not subscribed here on Forward Progress, make sure you hit that sub button below. Lots of great content here on the channel, including Christmas night, another live watch along of the Ravens and the 49ers. That one's going to be a banger. We'll debate winter combo drinks as well. I'm a big rum and eggnog guy personally. Peppermint schnapps and hot chocolate sounds great. All of these things not great for, let's just call it out for what it is. You're probably going to be sitting on the throne. Might even shit your pants if you have too much of these drinks. So you got to be careful with them. But some of these beverages are definitely top notch. Definitely top notch. All right, our first guest tonight. Years ago, he hit me up, said, Pizzola, I got this crew here on this Matchbook podcast. Drew Dini, boring dude. Summa in Germany. No one understands what the hell he's saying. We need to bring in a true professional, a class act like yourself. I said, you know what, Sully? I'm the man. I'm the man. He's now co-hosting Brad and Sully's NFL Bets with Brad Allen, which I've checked out. Actually, pretty solid listen. I listen on 1.5 times because I have to consume a bunch of content over the course of the week, but it is solid. Sully, Aiden O'Sullivan joins us here on Forward Progress. What's up, man?
Good, mate. Thanks for the plug. Appreciate it. I love how you said Summa. You couldn't understand Summa, but you can understand me, right?
Well, it's hit or miss.
Yeah, okay.
I've been brushing up on my famous Irish phrases.
Okay.
What time is it over there in Ireland right now?
1:15.
So I can say top of the morning to you.
Absolutely can. Absolutely. I cannot believe that you have me looking at Derek Carr passing out. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're gonna hate me by the end of this game. I'll tell you that.
I have a bigger bet in the over, so I'm quite happy.
Okay, you're on the over too.
Yeah,
okay, so we're in agreement there. We're rooting for points tonight.
100%. I might be tiny bit behind you because I'm on the stream, but just an FYI, I'll let you do anything there. But
no problem.
Good to see you, Rob.
Good to see you as well. So as is typical, as soon as I see the play clock here in the early going, I'll count it down so people can see what's going on or sync up with me as best as possible. And we'll just go through it. So play clock's at 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. So that should be enough for people to sync up here as the Saints run their first play, which is going to be a toss to Kamara for a yard. But Sully, are you typically up for these primetime games at night?
No, mate. It's Christmas holidays here. So last day at work yesterday. So this is Christmas special, fine, but cannot do the Friday mornings at work. Chatting to clients or whatever else. You brought back some memories of the Matchbook Pod, though. It's some good times.
Those were good years, man.
Yeah,
they were good years. It's no disrespect to Hussey who replaced you there, but you're the OG. You were the guy.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault, to be fair. I left him in the lurch a bit. I took that job, and he's not an NFL guy, but he has come on this year. He's more of a soccer, football, Premier League guy. So, yeah. I didn't know what to make. With the Saints, I was kind of thinking to myself, they're not bad enough to be a bad team, but they're not good enough to be a good team. They're literally, and I saw that schedule at the start of the year, really piss poor schedule. They were favorites in the NFC South, but I was like, I just hate this team. Really can't get a read on them.
Yeah, I have some really embarrassing tickets on Saints alternate overs from the beginning of the year. I talked myself into them being, just because of the schedule, maybe they can go on a run here. But the Derek Carr, Dennis Allen combination it's not a winning combination.
Really not. No, it's hard to get a read on. And then you see this whole Taysom Hill thing the last few weeks. He was in on some of these red zone plays, then he was out. And before we get to the end of the first quarter, I got to ask you about Dallas as well. So we'll get to that one, the intervals. I've got to get your take on it. I've been so down on Dallas. And then sometimes when they're playing at home, that they've really screwed me. But a good start for Olave, too. Obviously, he's like 64, 65, more than that.
Yeah, Chris Olave, I'll just see what he closed at here really quickly. But in that range, receiving yards closed 63 and a half. Yeah. 63 and a half.
I remember seeing the stat, like his air yards early in the season. Like if he had a good quarterback, this guy is definitely a top 10 receiver, if not top 5.
He's great. You worry now about the concussions early in his career too. I hate seeing that for young receivers who are quality, but yeah, Derek Carr's slinging it down the field. They're already inside the 35 of the Rams. Olave with another catch over the middle here. So it's a big difference to the offense. I'm not a big Derek Carr fan. I never really have been, but any team that loses their number one weapon, it's gonna hurt.
You say that about Carr, but he got so much luck at free agency, didn't he, last summer? It's like there's so many teams, they know what his ceiling is, but he's pretty consistent what he can do. I'm slightly behind you, but I see him playing it down. Lave. Anyone who's on the overs with Lave is, it could be first half job.
Yep. He's the only one that has a reception, 3 for 36 yards so far.
Ohio State have had so many good receivers the last few years, haven't they? He is he's a Buckeye. Yeah, it's just a factory, absolute factory.
Do you do 12 pubs of Christmas? Is that an Irish thing as well?
Irish thing, yeah, it really is, man. I gave up alcohol about a year ago, which is a really unusual thing for an Irish person. But I've still done the 12 pubs sober. You do 12 pubs sober, Rob, and that's literally gold medal kind of territory. Yes,
we do that. We do it in Canada as well. The similar story of my friend that organized the 12 pubs of Christmas every year actually is sober now as well. So he didn't organize it this year and just didn't happen. But that's certainly one of the greater nights of the year, I would say.
Oh, it really is. I think some people have the take the different reasons for sobriety. I just couldn't deal with hangovers, mate. When in my 40s, they literally just took me out of action for 2 days. When I went out, I don't go for like 2 or 3 beers. I literally go for like 14 hours straight. So yeah, I credit the people who can have beers and don't get too hungover. It's a tough time of the year, really tough time of the year for that.
I'm in the same boat as you. The hangovers are tough, man.
Yeah,
they're tough. It doesn't matter how much water I drink before I go to bed. You know, you reach a certain age and it's just rough.
it really is.
Oh,
How was Saints doing here, Rob? So I was slightly behind you.
Yeah, this is this kind of stuff that drives me crazy about Derek Carr is like the lack of situational awareness sometimes where like, oh my God, man, this is just the absolute death knife for the over right now.
Yeah.
Just
he's on his first. I'm just watching that sack back. He's on his first read, and he can't seem to come off it quick enough to the second read. And the ball's just there.
You know, it's very common in the NFL that when you're on the edge of field goal range or you're just inside the edge of field goal range, teams tend to bring pressure.
Yeah.
And some quarterbacks just know that and they get the ball out quickly or they just throw it away if they don't have the look.
One way or the other. Yeah, 100%.
And that's just a painful drive for the over.
Painful pump. Yeah.
But you know what? They invented live betting for a reason, Sully. And
what's the number now?
We'll see when it gets reposted here. It's not too bad. It's 42.5 at Penny right now.
Who did you get? What book did you get 230? Was it 231 or 230 on Carr?
That was FanDuel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was looking at a few of the books this side of the Atlantic, and they were 241. I think there was 241 around, but obviously FanDuel wanted to take that one on. I love that app too, but I'm not just saying it because you're involved with it, but we really need something like that on this side of the Atlantic, and the bet stamp, the people keeping their ROIs, because I find maybe not so much in NFL over here, but definitely with horse racing and soccer, people don't post their ROIs in any shape or form, and it's really deceiving. And they do this whole bullshit about, yes, got a minus 110 winner, yeah, boom, and all this kind of, and you're like, fuck off, like just. I like me and Brad, even with our pod. I know I started to do it with Matchbook obviously as well, and we just said, look, we've taken ROI and best bets because we always wanted to give listeners a kind of a flavor, because of red zone, people are dipping out, dipping in. They want a bit of action in an early game, they want a bit of action later game. But if you don't keep an ROI in your top selections each week, like what are you at? I know chatting to Todd Furman there a few months back about that as well, and he, there's just so many. While it's great that the space is opening up in the States in terms of content creation for this, there are a lot of charlatans, so to speak, aren't there?
There sure are.
Yeah.
It's frustrating for sure about the space. I mean, at the end of the day, it's tough. You make some incremental improvements, but I'm almost embarrassed sometimes. Even when I win, like there's been streams here where I've won, 50-1. A couple weeks ago, I got Hunter Henry 2+ touchdowns in the game against the Steelers. There's like 66-1. I'm almost embarrassed to go to my Twitter and put like Hunter Henry 2+ TDs, check mark, money bag. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just my old age or whatever, but I can't do that stuff.
Yeah, I've kind of gone of two different ways of doing it. And since we only started the pod myself and Brad did the Twitter Spaces last year. And we obviously want to grow the pod too. So when there is a bit of a trumpet moment, you do kind of have to push it, in the sense that we're starting out at a real low base.
Right.
Plus, I think like Twitter algorithm has totally changed, Rob, in the last couple of years since fucking Musk took it over, and it seems to be harder to get traction there. You know that as well. You still get your core, your diehards or whatever, but trying to pick up new interactions is tough.
It's part of the reason that we started streaming exclusively to YouTube. And I mean, we used to do a lot of Twitter stuff as well, but depending on the day, who knows what's going on with Twitter. So it's had to pivot the business strategy.
We need something new, man. We need a game changer, somewhere new to go.
Yeah. Drew says here in the chat, I believe this was pronounced, I was in Ireland, Sláinte.
Yeah, it's spot on. Yeah.
That's when you're like drinking, right? Like it's a cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, yeah. Like
Cheers.
Prost and Russian or whatever else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shlanta.
Shlanta.
What?
I'm doing rum and eggnog tonight, Sully. It's
Nice.
not, and I'll be on stream for another 3
Yeah,
hours. It could get real dicey. It could get
that's
real
what.
dicey.
Okay, yeah, you get the sober guy in for Q1. Bring the other guys in after that. I like it. What's your thoughts on this Rams team, Rob? Like what? Like I mean, in terms of ceilings, they're probably at their highest from what we were looking at preseason, right? In terms of ratings.
Yeah, but like with Kyron Williams in there, I really like their offense. Because they can move the ball through the air on the ground. Like they're not going to go on the road and beat San Fran in the playoffs or anything like that, but they'll give someone a fight. Like if they played Detroit on the road in the playoffs, they could beat them there inside a dome. Stafford revenge game,
Coaching matters.
Yep.
Plays a hell of a coach.
It sure does.
Yeah.
It sure does. And you look at like these NFC South teams and the Saints outside of the division this year, they've been pretty horrible in a lot of these games. And I think it's just because the coaches in the division are brutal across the board.
Yeah, and like you kind of see it with some of the coaches. Like I know the coach of the year is always a big kind of hot topic, but you could make a case for a couple of guys this year. Like I mean, Stefanski in Cleveland, Steichen in Indianapolis, D'Amico Ryans in Houston. I mean, like even Steichen, when we've seen the drop off in the Eagles' offense in the last few weeks, going to Brian Johnson.
Yep.
Like who for some reason seems to be talked about as a head coach, and I'm like, look at the Eagles' offense versus the Steichen offense. That it's just different gravy.
Something's broken with the Eagles right now. Yeah. I don't know that they can find it, but it's broken for sure. Part of like the last Eagles primetime game, Christian McCaffrey was on the Manning cast with Peyton and Eli Manning, and he was like calling out the plays that they were going to run on offense. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, wow, like if McCaffrey is able to pick up this stuff and he didn't even study this team or anything, I can only imagine what the other defenses are able to pick up on right now.
But it's clearly a basic offense. They've had to taper it back, I would imagine, from last year's offense. Just my sense of it. I had some futures preseason. They're obviously only second favorites in the outrights to the start of the season, but they're more or less back at the same price now anyway. So I have zero confidence in it. Maybe not zero confidence, but just not good right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. Rams are like, they're an enjoyable team for me. Like I would like to see the Rams in the playoffs more than a lot of the other teams that are in the mix, basically. I think that good coach, good quarterback, they play a fun and interesting style of football, I think, at the very least. I think that would be good for the game. So that's a rooting interest for me right now.
Yeah, Puka is such a good pickup to us. 5th round. Like, I mean, yeah.
I got 2nd and 5 here coming up on the New Orleans 40. Let's hope we get into field goal range and stay in there this time. Let's just hope for a 40-yard touchdown. That would be okay as well.
You just don't, with these overs, you just don't want to, obviously it's an obvious thing to say, we just don't want too much clock. You just want, when you use splash play every now and again, if you're getting behind in the first quarter. Obviously 2nd and 4th quarters are going to be the highest scoring quarters anyway, but in general,
yeah, I lost the Rams over last week against the Commanders. And I mean, honestly, it should have never had a chance, but then did have a chance. And then the extra point got blocked.
Wow.
And, but that first half was just pain. Like, turnovers in the red zone. Washington stalled in the red zone and went for it on 4th down and turnover on downs. Just
funny thing is, if Brissett starts that game, you may just get up. I mean, like Howell is literally this enigma of, his stats are kind of misleading on certain ones, and then you see the amount of sacks he takes, holds onto the ball too long. But then again, like, I mean, it's Washington. He wasn't, it wasn't a high draft pick. So what do you expect?
Howell, I think outside of like the 2 Eagles games this year, where he moved the ball very competently, he's been horrible for the most part. He doesn't have the pocket presence yet. He holds the ball, I think, a little bit too long. Rams in the red zone. I'm going to be rooting for a Davis Allen touchdown.
I saw that. What you back 50s first?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just false started. This is like the story of my life. He is on the field right now, and I'm pretty sure it was just him that false started.
And they generally take them out then, right? They'll put in someone else. Something that bugs me. Sometimes you see with college ball too, and you're like, oh,
yeah. He's just running off the field right now. It's like, all
there
right,
you
there.
go. Oh, it's nuts.
Oh my God, man. It's okay. We've hit some big ones this year. Got a small profit on the year so far on the stream. So what are you going to do?
They're good markets to play if you can get the right prices. Some books are a bit miserable in terms of their overloans for some of those markets, but you'll get some books. There's actually one or two books, definitely on this side of the Atlantic, don't even update touchdown scores, even with team news, some of the smaller books. So, yeah, accounts get closed very quickly there. A lot of, not good, but not good.
I did an interview with someone on Circles Off this week who goes by 50 Kelly, but he travels the world and bets. And he was describing the experience in the UK, but basically he loves being there during football season because he can bet the right angle sports releases.
Yeah.
And they just think he's a dumb American tourist. They don't even have, but if you do that here in Canada or the US, you're going to get limited like that. So he was kind of talking about that this week.
Yeah. And I could probably, I'm not even going to name them, but there's a couple, if he's in London, especially, there's a couple of high-end independent bookmakers that have the shops, the retail units, and they will take a bet. They just have that mindset. Whereas the bigger ones, the Entain kind of companies, Ladbrokes, your Paddy Pours, they won't take bets in the shops. They just want you. They limit you to like $100 or €100. That's it.
It's unfortunately an epidemic in the space, which is why I've always been a fan of Pinnacle, and I'm happy to have Pinnacle as a sponsor. Great book.
I mean, definitely, we were a Matchbook. If Matchbook didn't have a price, that was the first place we went to, wasn't it? Yeah, penny for all those.
Spoiler alert here for you, Sully, but we got a lucky defensive pass interference here.
Nice.
On a ball that was 100% not catchable, thrown out. Like, if Williams was not held, he was not catching this ball in any world, but we got it.
I'm seeing it now. Yeah. Some of those calls.
They really are something else.
I mean, I see Dennis Allen's obviously saying unplayable, but it doesn't even matter anymore. This whole put my hand over my head, it's unplayable. Yeah,
that used to be a thing big time, but now, it's definitely a hold. But you should at least just call like a hold in that situation to save face or illegal contact or something.
Passenger DPI is a different story.
Yeah. I'm looking very carefully to see if Davis Allen is on the field. I don't think it's going to happen for us at this point.
Some of those tight ends just look similar too.
Yes.
Yeah,
big white guy. That's There was a big thing this week. I don't remember who started it. Maybe the chat can help me out, but it was like what would the all white team versus the all black team in the NFL look like if you're going head to head? And I was thinking in my head about what the actual matchup would look like. And I'm like, wow, the white team has very good kickers and punters and very good tight ends across.
No depth. And even O-line, D-line, you probably get a couple of nuggets, but you have zero depth. You don't have a second team.
That's the problem, is the skill positions. It was started by Rashard Mendenhall. Rashard Mendenhall on Twitter said, F these white guys on TV. I know ball. Let's get I don't know how he got from like F these white guys on TV to like I know ball better than all of you. Let's do all white versus all black. But it's been good Twitter conjecture. I actually someone did a Madden sim of the game where they compiled an official roster. It was a pretty close game. The all black team ended up winning, but
well, who are the receivers for the white team? It's Cooper Kupp and then who? Adam Thielen?
Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen, River Craycraft, Braxton Berrios. I don't know. I think you just roll 12 personnel and you just kind of
you roll 3 tight end sets the entire game.
Exactly. Or you just make Sam Laporta a receiver or Travis Kelce or one of those guys at some point. Because Mark Andrews, I don't know. There's no speed though. That's the problem.
Big fourth down here. Rams are going. and
Are
they're
they going?
in.
Whoa.
They're in, Sully. This is not honestly, you've been watching football forever as well, but McVay is typically a field goal guy in these situations.
Yeah.
He had the balls, 95-yard drive for the Rams, and they're in the end zone. Allen was on the field too. I was just watching him the entire time.
Needed that for the total too, Rob. Like, I mean, that's 3-0 instead of 7. It's a big difference with only 232. I'm only just watching that now.
Yeah, we call that the Suma stream as well. You're on the European stream. Suma's usually a good 3 plays behind me.
I'm not too bad. I'm only 1 point, so I'm not too bad. Yeah, I'm that bit closer. He's 1 time zone over that way, so yeah, he's 1 time.
You know, the worst part is the Thursday night football game in Canada is actually behind the US as well. So the people in the chat here are probably, a lot of them are 30 seconds ahead of me, the US one.
Yeah. It's just the joys of that now, isn't it? Like, I mean, I know, like, I don't know what are the stories of Canada, but like obviously direct TV in the States, but here, if you want the full sports packages for all of your sports, you're looking at maybe €1,300 a year, which is probably, I think, $1,500 or $1,600 a year. I don't know if that's similar in the States or Canada, but it's just too much in a cost of living crisis or whatever else. So I've got a lot of dodgy streams, Rob, but
yeah. Well, I mean, we have DAZN or DAZN or in Canada, which you could get NFL. They have the NFL rights, digital rights, but and it's like $170 a year. But the problem is that it's like 45 seconds, a minute behind the actual cable. So I typically would watch with DAZN if I wasn't, if I'm not on Twitter, I'm just watching the game by myself. But when you're doing a stream, I can't do that. So I'm on the cable package now, and it's at least pretty solid.
The zone of you know this obviously, but the zone of a sports book now there in the UK, trying to obviously kind of leverage those TV rights to kind of live streaming and whatever else. They say they're going to be a bit of a disruptor, and they want to do things different to Bet365, and I'm like, I don't know, if you want to kind of model yourself on probably the best sportsbook rather than just saying, we're not going to be like them. You're like, why wouldn't you want to be like them? It's like, mimic the best. Don't just say, I'm going to do my own thing. It's just,
So it would have been, I'm trying to remember when DAZN launched in Canada for the first time, but they became the exclusive rights holder. And we had for a while, like NFL Sunday Ticket, which was our cable, went away. So you had to get DAZN to watch games. And I remember the first weekend we ever had it, it was just so slow, choppy, they couldn't handle. And I went on Twitter and I was roasting them. Like, this is a joke. DAZN is a joke. Don't they fly out two people from the UK to my house in Toronto for the next NFL Sunday to sit down with me, watch the game with me, to get like, they literally brought techs out. I'm not even joking. They brought a case of beer and like some food and some chips and stuff like that. But yeah, I got a message the day before NFL Sunday. Hey, Rob, do you mind if we send? And the guys showed up and they're like, yeah, we got flown in right from the UK just to. I was like, I'm like, what? Because I have like 30,000 Twitter followers and trash you guys. He's like, yeah, pretty much. We want to make sure the experience is okay. This is a true story, people. I'm not joking. I know some people think it's crazy, but yes.
No, but you told me his story. Okay, remind me of his name, right? We're speaking now about Europeans again, but the regards from Italy guy. What's his name again?
Francesco Greco.
Yeah, you told me that story as well, and I remember you telling me pre-recording one night about him coming. Did he come to you again?
Oh yeah, I made him visit my friend in Pennsylvania first to make sure that he's not a serial murderer or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like a vetting process before you send him north to the border. Yeah,
exactly.
Bet him down there.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, he came here. He still does these every. I don't know. He's got some other obsessions now, which is nice. These other Pisky, Positivo, Ben Godfather, Ian McMillan.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Which is nice.
He left me go once I left Matchbook. So yeah, no, it's okay. It's all good. He's a good guy though. He's nuts, but he's a good guy.
He's just like a lot of people. When you give them a keyboard, they become lunatics for some reason.
Absolutely, yeah.
but
That's all part of it. It's a good community. The NFL betting community is a good community compared to, again, a reference back to the horse racing stuff over here. They're absolute nuts, and they're just not genuine bettors or punters. And yeah, no, the NFL betting community is a good one. Some really sharp and talented people. So much information out there. So much, people put so much time and effort into their stuff, and it's great to see. Not everyone, but we know the types. The guys that you have on later here as well. All good guys.
I was telling a story. I can't remember which track it was that I was at in the UK for horse racing. But I was telling this story actually on the stream like 3 weeks ago in regards to the fact that they have multiple kiosks that you can bet, like multiple bookmakers that you can bet with at the track itself, which doesn't happen in North America. North America, the odds are the odds, but these you'd have different and I was like price shopping basically before I place my bets, right? It's like, oh, this guy's got 6 to 1, this guy's got 5 to 1. I'm gonna go.
You're looking down the boards. You're looking down the boards,
exactly.
And the bigger the racetracks, they pay serious rent. Like, I mean, the biggest racetrack there, like Cheltenham, you could be paying like $100K for the year for like maybe semi-decent. They call them pitches. Essentially, if you look down, you can see all the different odds. But yeah, what time have you got left there, Rob? I'm on.
I got 40 seconds in the first quarter here. So I just saw the incomplete pass to Foster Moreau, and I wanted to vomit this eggnog right all over myself.
What number did you get on him? It's got to be low, right? 19,
oh yeah, it's 7.5 receiving yards. That would have been pretty close. That would have been close.
Oh, Lord, this Saints offense. Did I see Taysom Hill jumping in at one stage there as well, under center? Or
yep, for his 3-yard rush.
Yeah. It's a given. It is a given.
Big Deal wants to know if the stream was better when they came. So it was. The second week was better, but it did lag a few times so they could see it in real time. But they also took like a lot of my feedback. They're like, what do you want to see us do? Like what they were basically asking for product suggestions. And I'm like, listen, they never ended up doing this, but MLB TV, you could watch 4 games at once. You can multi-screen it. And I'm like, well, you guys should have the ability to do this. Like, why not? You have all the games. You have the rights to the games. Allow us to pick 4 and put them on the screen. But
give them their props. At least they listen. At least they, there's many an operator would just say, well, F you, we don't care. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's the end of the first quarter here.
7-0. Okay.
7-0. You want to hang around to talk to Drew for 2 minutes, or
of course. Yeah, no, because good say hello. Yeah. Miss Drew.
Yeah,
he's on the overs too. I think I listened to him and Andy earlier. I think they're on the overs.
He's big time now, so he doesn't join right at the beginning of the quarter. He comes like 30 seconds later.
What do you mean big time? No, Drew's been big time like as long as I know him, like 6 years, 7 years. He's been big time.
No,
he was big time before he was big time.
That wasn't what you told me when you called to recruit me, Sully. You're like, this guy Drew.
I need someone to carry this guy.
Don't know what to do with this guy Drew. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring him in. You know him from NBC Sports Bet the Edge, and of course Deep Dive. This is like a reunion. We were just missing Suma. I can message Suma. I don't know if he's awake or not. I think he's asleep though. He only stays up for the big games.
Yeah, man, we had some good times. Great to see you again, Sully. It's been way too long. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Drew, I like the new guy in the Matchable Pod, Jude, the throw the damn ball guy.
Yeah, Jude.
He's really good. Yeah.
He's got a unique point of view, which I like, doing it a little differently than the rest of us. So you get a little bit of a curveball, which is nice.
I subscribe to his newsletter, so he sends us out on like a Sunday, and he literally looks at kind of some player props and a few SGPs and a few different angles, and he just gets you thinking about a few different things. I think he was definitely on the Jake Browning. Browning is the Bengals quarterback, right? The new guy. He was definitely on him early, whereas a few people were kind of weren't. So, no, if I haven't met him on any podcast yet, but pass on my regard.
Yeah, more than a few people weren't. I don't know how you guys feel one way or the other about the Ringers content providers, but Steven Ruiz has ranking Jake Browning with the Zach Wilsons of the world, and it's like, he's obviously got a pulse. What are you watching? Like,
Right.
I really don't understand.
So like I watched Jake Browning's first start against the Steelers, and I'm like, this dude is not cut out for the NFL. Like he cannot complete a forward pass. I don't know what happened. There was no T. Higgins in that game, but the game against Jacksonville, that Monday Night Football game, that's like one of the best quarterback performances of the year.
He was dealing,
carving him up, and since then he's been really strong. It'd be very interesting to see now again with the Steelers this week if they are just like his kryptonite or something like that. But he's played very, very well since then.
I went back and watched that one because I was trying to figure out what in the hell happened and if there was a chance that there was a repeat of that type of performance. And I actually came out of that game like feeling like Zach Taylor didn't really know what he had yet because of what he was asking him to do. Didn't really feel like it kind of married with his skill set. They didn't have a ton of drives, really. They only had it was only a couple of drives that really flipped that game. But actually, Zach Taylor had like a 7-3 lead, improbably. Like he did not deserve to be leading, but had like a 7-3 lead at halftime, and he just came out with some super duper vanilla conservative garbage. And they had a couple 3-and-out drives, and then the game was over. I really think like it took until our season's over now. We just might as well let him chuck against the Jaguars. And he's like, oh, he can throw it. Oh. And since then, it's just like he's playing at a top 10 QB level. And you're right. Like I'm going to look it up while we're chatting here. But
we said in the first quarter, dude, coaching. I know this is obvious, but coaching really does matter. It's not just Zach Taylor, like that Brian Callahan guy.
Sure.
He's definitely done a good job there.
Yeah,
so
no question.
Yeah,
no question.
They put him in good spot. You can see a lot of the stuff that they do for him. They do to suit him. Whereas you see Nathaniel Hackett in New York with Zach Wilson, and he just doesn't do the same for Wilson. And obviously they've got no O-line as well. But Rob, I'm going to jump, guys. Absolute pleasure. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Happy
Rob.
holidays, Sully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to see you again.
Best to Brad, another old matchbook alum.
We're back.
Yeah, that's love what you guys are doing and appreciate more people in the space.
All right,
see you later, guys. Take care.
Aiden O'Sullivan, everyone, who I once, I've called Aiden O'Connell Aiden O'Sullivan about 1 billion times before because of Sully. Carr just took a sack at midfield here on the fourth down. Are you on the over in this game as well?
Yeah.
So am I. You know what? This is not actually that bad. Sack at midfield. Rams are going to have.
Yeah.
It forces the Saints into that game state where they have to be a little bit more aggressive, right?
Yeah, that was kind of my thought on playing the over. Number one, no faith whatsoever that the Saints defense is any good. Right. And if that's the case, then the Rams have, a 2-score lead, and then all of a sudden this turns into the Jags Saints game where Carr's chucking it downfield. And it's absolutely stupid that the Saints coaching staff and the offensive minds there, and Carr to that degree, who has got so much experience, it takes being in a negative game state to be like, okay, let's play good now. Like, it absolutely drives me bananas. Like this check down crap and 15 targets a game to Alvin Kamara. Like, I don't know, man. It's just wildly uninspiring football. And if they clean house there, I'm not going to be sad, but I don't know how you fix things with their cap situation. So maybe it doesn't matter one way or the other.
Well, I'm the dummy who played Derek Carr passing yards over tonight as well, 230.5. But actually, you know what? It's not even that bad. He's at 69 yards now. Going to probably get another 1 to 2 possessions this half, trailing. I don't hate it, but yeah, you're right, Drew. Like until you're in the position. I've never been in the position of coaching a football team or calling plays or anything like that. So I don't speak from experience, but there's just so many things I watch on a weekly basis where I'm like, really, this is your game plan. This is what you spent the entire week working on, and this is what you're going to do. And sometimes I watch teams play the Titans, and it's like they come out and they're just trying to run the ball. And it's like, this really, the team is giving you passes all over the field, and you're just going to try to run. Like, I don't get it sometimes, but I certainly don't get the Saints' ability to try to even stretch the field with Olave and Shaheed, both there, both guys that are burners, both guys that can work downfield. I don't know, Drew. It's
Yeah.
frustrating. Yeah.
So to close the loop with you, Jake Browning had the 12th best individual game performance of any player in the NFL this year with his performance against the Jags.
EPA
He
wise, or
generated 23.0 total EPA in that game. That was good enough for 12th of any player in the NFL this year. You know who is not on the list of top 20 in any capacity is Mr. Derek Carr.
yeah.
I don't even know what Derek Carr's best game has been. Oh my God, Puka Nacua is unreal. He's unreal, man. How did this guy slide to the Rams?
I couldn't tell you, man. There's always some guy late in the draft who like, how did this guy fall to where he is? But
how long in week 1 where he was burying the Seahawks did it take for you to be like, wow, Puka Nacua is a bona fide 10-year NFL player? Like it was in that game where it was like this guy's got a permanent job in the NFL. And somehow he went what was it, like 3rd round?
Yes, a 5th round pick, I think. Puka Nacua. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Talent evaluation is insane, man.
I'm just going through the Saints schedule. It definitely Carr's best game was the road game at Indy.
Okay,
that had to be the best game. Like other than that, I'm going through and I'm like, I don't think he really played all that well. That road game in Indy, he was dealing. That's the Colts defense, but he was dealing.
That's good enough for 63rd best individual performance by a quarterback this year.
Yeah, but that's definitely
13.5
his best.
EPA gained. Not especially impressive. Speaking of kind of highs in terms of EPA gain, did you know Baker Mayfield had his best ever game as a pro last week in terms of total EPA against the Packers? Now that was some Packers, but how much of that was a healthy Godwin, you think?
It could have been. I mean, Baker has quietly had a pretty decent year. Like he's still. What are you drinking there? Are you drinking rum and eggnog too?
Of course.
Oh,
'tis the season.
Of course, Drew. Cheers. Or
Cheers.
as they would have said in Ireland, slancha.
Slancha. What type of rum did you go with?
I like spiced rum, so I'm very classic Captain Morgan spiced.
Okay.
It's my go-to for.
Okay.
There years ago, I tried a lot of different combinations to see what I liked best, but I settled on this.
Okay.
I unfortunately didn't bring the cinnamon upstairs with me. I like to put a little dab of cinnamon on top.
Now that's where we go. That's where we disagree.
Okay.
Fresh grated nutmeg, dude.
Okay.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Fresh grated nutmeg.
No problem with nutmeg either. I'm just here at my computer, unfortunately. I'm trying to my wife's been sick for the past few days, so I'm like trying to distance myself from her as much as possible to not get sick for the holidays. Nothing helps more than alcohol, right? When to avoid sickness.
Absolutely. I went with Kraken rum. I don't know if you ever heard of Kraken. It's also spiced rum, but it's black spiced rum, a little higher ABV, but a lot of vanilla notes, which goes pretty dang well with with the old Nogster.
You ever have you ever done
caught that?
Yeah, this is the second touchdown he should have caught.
God dang, what a roller coaster of a year with this guy. What was the game where it looked like he was was it against the I guess not last week, but the week before against the Ravens? He was unstoppable in that game. How are you dropping that?
I know. 2 in a row. He's got the best matchup on the field today, I think, because slot corner for the Saints is Alontae Taylor, and he's not very good.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Well, final thought, real quick on the topping. I know you're a guy that likes to spend some time in the Caribbean, get a little vacation, a little sun.
Yeah.
If you ever make your way to the British Virgin Islands, which are just an absolute blast, the kind of we call it let's say it's like the national drink down there is the painkiller, which is mostly pineapple juice, coconut cream, a little bit of orange juice, and then rum. They top it with a little nutmeg grater, and basically every store has the little jar of nutmeg that comes with the little grater in it. So you don't have to have like a dedicated like Parmesan grater for your nutmeg. You can just use the one that's in the little jar. So
I just looked this up on screen, and these are my kind of drinks when I'm away. I'm going to Jamaica post Super Bowl.
oh, nice.
And I'm a big fan of like these types of drinks. Just put it that way.
Excellent, man.
Big fan. The old Blue Ocean and the Miami Vice and whatever else they give you on the resorts. Look how nice this thing looks, man. Whew.
This one's got classic tiki roots. Some of the blue ones and some of the rum swizzles are a little outside of traditional tiki roots, but Painkiller's right in there.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Painkiller.
Yep, it's a good one.
I was just kind of like scratching my head because it's 4th and 2 in the first quarter. McVay leaves the offense on the field. They score a touchdown, and then 4th and 2 from the 2 here, and they kick the field goal. I guess you make it a 2-score game. That's the logic, right?
That's a great question. Sean McVay has never been a guy I had tabbed as especially aggressive. In fact, I always thought that was maybe the one thing you could hold against him.
Yep.
I don't remember any moments in the playoff in the title run where he did anything especially good in terms of in-game decision making. He just kind of got lucky that no one else did,
right?
Namely Shanahan in the NFC Championship game. But yeah, he's always been a little chicken, and it's cost him a couple times in the playoffs.
He is pretty weak when it comes to a lot of the in-game decision making. He's the guy.
They get beat by the Cowboys in the playoffs before their run when they lost to the Patriots the year before, or was it the Falcons? I don't remember. He had a couple of games in early in his playoff tenure where it was like, oh my God, he's scared to lose. And absolutely hate seeing that in a coach when you have, I don't know, one of the most dynamic offensive systems in the NFL. Like, why are you scared? I don't understand.
I mean, I don't get it, to be honest with you. He's a young guy. I'm pretty sure he's my age, if anything. Yeah, he's born in the same year as me, 86. And not only that, like, he's an offensive guy. Like, he was an offensive coordinator, right, with Washington. I get it with the defensive guys a lot because it's like, let's punt to play field position. We'll trust the defense. But it's really weird for me when the offensive guys are like that. Those are the guys you figure would want to go for it on 4th down and trust their offense to win them the game. And that's what I've never really understood about him.
Yeah, something about the self-doubt of actually whatever the probability of completing that is not enough to warrant going for it, which I really don't get it. And I mean, I'm not like blind aggressive guy where like, okay, there's certainly some games, maybe this is one of those where if you have a couple of wrinkles in your playbook and you're like, hey, these will get us a touchdown from 4th and 2. I have high confidence in that. And you look at a game where you're up 7-0 and it's the second quarter and your defense is, or you're not afraid of Derek Carr, then, you take a field goal instead and you keep that one in your back pocket for a rainy day.
Right.
I don't hate that kind of logic if that's ultimately what you're thinking, but, that didn't have all those whiffs. So who knows?
Live total in the game is 41 right now.
Oh no, really? Oh
yeah,
God.
It does seem a little low to me still though.
Yeah, it does. Did it feel like the first quarter went a little fast? We only had the 3 drives.
Yeah. I'm like, this is what, the 5th possession of the game right now? The Rams drive took a while, right? That was like 7 or 8 minutes, the 95-yard drive.
8-minute drive. Yeah, that first drive was nightmare fuel for the over.
I mean, New Orleans gets to the Rams 37, they punt, the Rams 39, they turn it over on downs. It's not like they haven't moved the ball, but
yeah. Let's see what this flag is, because we could really use the refs not helping the under. Don't know why we're ticky-tacking a holding when there was nothing gained, but maybe my least favorite penalty in football. Well, there's a lot I don't like.
I mean, There's nothing worse than seeing flags out on the field.
I
just
guess
for
he
game flow.
gained a little advantage there. I won't say no advantage gained, but like the play was dead anyway.
Yeah.
Hate it. Okay. Well, yeah, this over feels dead. I think I'm gonna have to pull up the box score from Saints Jags to give myself a little bit of a glimmer of hope here. Rams defense, I will note, I've always kind of had as a second half fade because they are very, very, very thin. And so they get tired. They're very thin and they're very young. Like that was like clearly the most clearly on display, I think, in the game against the Eagles. Like the Eagles brought like their D game that day, and still in the second half, like the Rams defense came up with a couple lucky stops, but really didn't give much resistance. And I think that's just a function of being young and thin. Like your guys are playing more snaps than you probably want them to, your big bodies especially. So I got Rams on watch for a potential fade here. They were on the field for a while on Sunday too, in the second half. I remember at least watching, there was like a good 4-minute stretch where it felt like they were on the goal line every single snap against the Commanders. I lost track there, but there may be some residual there.
Yeah. If I'd known Otani was at the game tonight, Rams money line might have been the lock of the millennium.
Showing off.
Yeah.
In honor of Otani.
There you go, Jason. You know what you're doing.
Let's see, was it week 8? No, week 7.
We really need a Rams explosive play badly here.
Okay, so in week 7, it wasn't until 24-9 that the Saints really opened up the playbook.
Okay.
So it's probably going to be a second half thing, which makes second half over maybe. Like if the total really just gets lulled to sleep here, second half over maybe the angle. The Rams will get the ball first. That'll entice people to bet under.
Yep. But the Rams will try to suck the life out of the game too.
They may.
They can run the ball now, which is.
Do you have a working theory on the Saints defense and why it's what's happened? The degradation from like week 5 to now has been like pretty obvious and apparent, and it's been against really like unimpressive competition, and they still kind of stink.
I mean, I don't really like their front four especially, and haven't. I'd have to dig into it further. It's not something that I've personally dug into or paid attention to in particular. Because they haven't had, like, outside of Marshawn Lattimore, they haven't had a major injury on defense.
No, and honestly, Paulson Adebo has had a fine season.
Oh, he's actually played really well.
Yeah, he's been good. So it's kind of confusing.
Their two corners are solid. It's their slot corner that's why I thought Kupp might have a big game tonight. Alontae Taylor in the slot has not had a great year, but hard to say.
I would guess the offseason take on the Saints was that their defense was going to be bad, but my offseason take was, and it was a little bit of like hey, they're being rated top 10, but they lost like Davenport and Onyemata and a coach and a linebacker. Like they lost like a decent chunk of their, like I would say like their 3rd through their 6th best players all left. Right. And it just so happened that it was also all of their good defenders who were like under 30. Right. And the guys they stayed were Cam Jordan and Demario Davis. And you're like, okay, well, and Tyrann Mathieu. I haven't heard that guy's name called in a freaking eon. Like the guys that stayed were all 35 to 36. And you're like, okay, there's a pretty obvious expiration date on this. And Demario Davis, I thought, started the season playing well, and maybe he's playing through injury and just keeping it quiet because he knows like what to not say to make sure he gets out there every week, but he hasn't been as effective. And maybe he just hit the aging curve, dropped on him like a safe middle of the season, and he's just, he can't do it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't have any answers, but I know that the last 2 weeks where they gave up 6 points to the Panthers and the Giants, I was pretty darn sure that that was throwing people off the scent of how lousy this unit is.
Well, yeah, the team as a whole, generally speaking, I would say, yeah, you're certainly going to look a lot better with those 2 games back to back.
Do you get any whiff of Carolina now off a win of being the late bloomers this year?
You know what? It was their best offensive performance in a long time last week, even though it was a weather game. They didn't score a TD. 4.5 yards per play for them that's like the 49ers putting up 9 yards per play basically.
Oh, Stafford. Oh, my God. I'm sure we're ahead of the chat, but that's wild. God, that guy is good. Glad he's back.
It's like it's a little
God
Mahomesy, right? How he can work to the other side, the way he changes his angles and throwing. I mean, that Super Bowl throw, which has been highlighted many times, the look away was absurd.
Yeah.
He can do stuff like this.
Yeah. Thank God he's in the mix for the playoffs, man.
Yeah. I totally got the Rams wrong this year. Not in the sense of I just didn't think that they would be in this position because I thought they were going to unload at the deadline in all likelihood based off of their early season schedule. But still solid team. Good coach, good quarterback. Yeah. Takes you a long way.
Oh, I missed on them by an absolute mile. I didn't play any alt unders or anything like that, but I thought they were pretty fragile because they thought you look at the depth chart of the defense and the experience and the draft pedigree of all those guys, and you're like, okay, they're going to need to score 30 a game to win. Yeah. And then Cooper Kupp is, he's absent week 1, and at the time there was whiffs of this is at least 4 weeks, could be his season, could be his career. Like people were postulating he was kind of in the mix to retire, and it was like, wow, okay, so if you don't have Kupp and you're gonna need to score 30 a game, good luck doing that with Puka Nacua.
I know I mean that changed everything for them for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, also, by the way, at the beginning of the year, the depth chart was RB1 was Cam Akers, and I would have told you with high confidence that he sucks. And ultimately, Kyron Williams is a clear top 6 back in the league right now.
Yep.
I don't even think that's a controversial take.
Maybe even higher, man. Their EPA numbers when he's on the field are absurd relative to when he's not. There's not many running backs where the splits are that drastic.
Yeah.
What a throw that was, man. Back foot.
Yeah.
Enough strength to get it out there.
Yeah. I'll tell you why else it's good that he's in the mix for the playoffs is that he's got some experience. We don't want a bunch of
rookies,
backups and rookies in the playoffs,
Yep. Who's just getting carries here? Ronnie Rivers? Yeah, it is.
They activated him today.
Has Royce Freeman got any carries, or this might be something to watch in the live markets here? Because typically Freeman's the number 2, but looks like Rivers is getting the looks. Live in-play prop betting.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Where do you do that?
Pretty much everywhere nowadays.
Really?
Yeah.
You're very lucky.
Yeah.
I'm in California, obviously. And
you say we're lucky, Drew, but then every 7 times a year you post pictures of you out on the ocean and whatever, and we're lucky that we can live bet, sure, but there's a lot of privileges you have where you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, just for the completeness, the state of betting in California is such that you really, God, come on. What are we doing today, buddy? He needed the night off, apparently. The one that skipped at his feet was obviously not a good throw, but the second drop was
Had a few.
indefensible.
Yeah, he said that's 7 targets for him, and he's got 3 catches.
He was pretty vocal about not wanting to play on short rest on this field, on this turf. I don't know what he has a hard on about the turf, but doesn't love it. And that's gonna, I don't know, get the ball back in the hands of the Saints so they can either. Christ. All right. Well,
I'll take it. Help. I'll take it. The field goal was no good. Oh God.
Wasn't even a really good attempt, honestly. And honestly, this is the Rams' own fault because they didn't really try to address the kicker position in the offseason, even though they cleaned all its house and special teams. That was an unfortunate sequence, big time.
Oh yes.
But yeah, in California, I can really only play it at bookmaker. I pretty much have one out, and I can only really get liquidity and sides and totals. So I live with that.
At some point, Drew. Some point it will change.
Yeah, I would hope so. Although the Indian tribes in California have a lot of power, and so
yep.
I don't know how to get them on board with whatever the plan is. And honestly, there's probably a short-term headache getting liquidity while operators get live, and they're like rolling out, offering to customers in California from offshore. I would guess. I don't know. Save that for another day. I had something I wanted to ask you. We got a commercial here. So a couple weird bull market results this week. Obviously, unfortunate for those who beat the price in quarterback news for both Western Kentucky and UTSA.
Okay.
Both of those big moves came in basically very mature markets for those bulls.
Yep.
In fact, the UTSA coach even went out of his way after the game to kind of beat his chest about how well the secret was kept that Harris wasn't going to go. They knew for weeks, right? It still leaked.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think there was, and if you want to change the subject, just say so, but do you think there was like a concerted effort on the part of the people who had an inclination to leak, to like the people that they were like, okay, we're just going to help keep this under wraps until we get game day type of limits? Because I mean, congratulations for keeping it a secret, but there was still some pretty obvious, betting opinions before the news was official.
With these types of things, like I don't feel strongly one way or another. I almost always think probabilistically.
Sure.
The likelihood, in my opinion, is high.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah, not like I can see alternate scenarios where okay, whatever. It's just like a coincidence, so to speak. But yeah, the likelihood is high. I actually don't even want to think about bowl games just because of like there's nothing more painful than like the 12% CLV on Marshall plus 10 that loses. It was the first bowl game of the year. It was Georgia Southern in Ohio. I bet under 54. It closed 48.5. Never had a chance. I've had a few of those already that are kind of sickening. Right now, I'm holding Air Force plus 3. That's looking like a pretty good number. West Virginia -3, -114. I played at Pinnacle. It's -7, -103 right now. Had a lot of these, Drew. A lot of these. As bettors, we're like conditioned to believe that we deserve to win when we beat the line by that much, right? So it just makes it so much more painful when it doesn't win.
I mean, the ODU one was especially hilarious because, like, okay, they were like the coach's kid who started the game for Western Kentucky. He was so out of his element in terms of being, a viable quarterback. so bad that they benched him for a guy who actually had a pulse, and then that was actually the difference in the game. And like, yeah, if I knew what I was doing better than, oh, there we go. All right, we got a little splash play. We got a little life here.
Needed something.
Yeah.
You know what? If the Saints can score here before the half, the Rams will get points.
Yeah. Oh, weird. You target Shaheed and something good happens.
Yeah.
Surprise! You have a really good fast wide receiver on your squad.
Okay. Over's back in play.
Yeah. Okay. So the
Derek Carr pass yards back in play, people too.
Oh yeah.
140, man. He's got 140 right now. His number is 230 and a half.
Yeah, I could get there by halftime. Probably not though.
No.
But yeah, the weird wrinkles of how those kind of particular results played out beyond just the market. It's just like, yeah, if I knew what I was doing with college football, I wouldn't be just sitting there laughing when it's 28-0, and then you see the guy that you bet against get taken out of the game, right? You're like, oh, actually, this is a sign I should probably just come in on the other side. Maybe we'll hit the middle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, enough to where I did that on the Marshall game when they're up 14-0, because let me tell you, Pennington was not inspiring confidence, and I actually was watching that game. It was interesting to me that secrets were kept, and somebody must have just been sitting on those numbers and just tap tap tap. Oh, this is getting better. Tap tap tap. Like I just must laugh at like somebody in a high liquid book, high liquid trading room. Like they're like, okay, your job today is to watch 356, and if it moves past
right.
If it moves past 3.5, just limit bet it on this hot account. Okay, no problem. Like there's gotta be some great stories like that, because I assume that's what was happening. Because there's really no secrets at the end of the day. So funny stuff.
Yep.
College football is the best. I don't know how people handicap that crap.
Oh, it's nuts, man. Honestly, if you look at this year, even the most respected of bettors have had some real challenges with this college football season. So it's not easy, just like anything in handicapping. Pinnacle is up to 43.5 live total right now. So we're back in play here. Luke, appreciate the comment. For Luke to be in here while we're I'm
sure he has no idea what I'm talking about.
Absolutely no clue what's going on right now. Yeah.
But no, he has no idea.
For him to stick it out, we must be doing something right.
But what do you got a sense of how like the end bosses in the NFL have done this year? Like game day steam? Has it been anything to write home about?
I actually don't know, because I used to be in pretty tight with one group, but we don't really do much with them anymore for NFL. So I honestly don't have much of an idea. I don't know. It feels like a lot of it is lost, if I'm being honest, but that's just like subjective, and I don't know if I've paid enough attention to it.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But again, some of that too is like there's definitely been some where game day steam felt like middle shots, and a couple of those have landed, especially in the totals. I feel like the total steam has been strong in general. There's been a couple of weird side seams. Yeah.
Tilting week for me personally with totals, because pretty much everything I liked got hit early in the week. And I still ended up playing a lot, but at slightly worse prices. I'm with you on the Baltimore San Fran over, which I like quite a bit. I played the Bears Cardinals under 44.5, which I think is sitting 43 now.
Nice.
What other pull up the score? But I actually have a lot of totals this week.
Same. More than sides by a long shot, which is spooking me for how in the world I'm going to come up with 5 sides in contests. But
yeah, but I have that issue every week. It's like, okay, let's start with the stale lines. But now at this point in the season, I'm like,
you gotta go contrarian in some way.
I have because of the 5 entries I have, 2 of them are like 1 and 2 points out of the money right now.
Yeah,
So
same.
like there's no sense in taking the
Texans over the Titans was big last week.
Yeah.
Titans were on a lot of cards. I mean, like most of them. They might have been the most popular pick of the week, actually.
I bet the Titans last week, unfortunately. That
Oh.
game almost sent me into like not only outer space, but like another galaxy.
Did you watch much of that game?
Oh, I did. You know, like this is, I kind of ranted about this at the end. Vrabel, I think, is a good coach, but a lot of these defensive coaches, when they have the lead in a game, they just turtle. Tennessee got that pick 6. They go up 13-0. They don't even think about trying to move the ball downfield. It's like every first down is going to be a run up the middle, or it's going to be some stupid like little screenplay that they're going to like it. And it drives me crazy because you could just see it. You could just see it happening. You can slowly see Houston get back into the game. And it's not like the Titans defense is good.
No,
like you know, you're trusting your defense to win you the game. They suck. They've sucked the whole year.
Yeah,
so
there were the 2 most tilting plays for anyone who was on the Titans was where I would say the clear like the announcer, I think verbally was like, "Oh God, what are you doing?" When Case Keenum threw it over the middle, and just perfect shot right to Saints. I mean, right to the Titans defender, and Schultz ripped the ball out of his hands at the 1. That was like, oh Jesus, wow, okay, good play. And then like it was a tie game. Texans were like being real aggressive to try to get into field goal range, and Keenum threw a pick along the sideline that was like no doubt pick 6,
right?
Like no question. And guys just dropped it.
I don't know what his official turnover worthy plays were last week, but there's turnover worthy plays where it's like, okay, the defender has a chance to catch, and there's turnover worthy plays where it's like it should have 90% of the time it gets caught, and he had a few of those last week, which was painful.
Ooh, the guys that laid the Rams are probably in a little bit of a sweat right now, first half, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Saints are gonna have a chance to tie this puppy.
Shohei Ohtani, man. Maybe he's gonna curse all of LA.
The curse of the Shobino.
What's Bambino in Japanese?
That's a good question. What is Shohei Ohtani's nickname? Showtime?
Yeah, I don't know. What is he called the most?
I don't know. I mean, Showtime.
Showtime is a big one. Like he
that
gets
makes
Showtime
sense now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm bitter towards Ohtani for no reason. Like it wasn't his fault that the rumors circulated about Toronto. Wow. Bambino. Yeah,
Bambino.
Okay, so it's Bambino instead of Bambino. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Glad we got that figured out. Oh, if the Saints could go into the half leading, that would be so nice for the over.
Hey, do you have before we get to the end of the quarter here, do you have a dog that you think is especially like, I guess, like what's the grossest bet on your card going to be this week?
Chargers money line.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That will be the grossest bet on my card this week.
You and did you figure this out? Is it GIF or GIF Smith? Do we know?
No, I have
we
no
don't
idea.
know. Huh.
I have no idea. No, like I honestly probably won't play. But I actually did already play some New England Patriots money line today.
Patriots.
In the
I got to 7 weirdly. It's
honestly,
at 7.
I'm an idiot.
Oh shit! It's juicy 7, huh? What?
So there's 2 moves today that you know what? I just did an episode of Circles Off on market timing, and like I thought there was no chance in hell this game was going to 7. Like I thought I still think that this is an insane number, banana land number.
I 100% agree with you.
So I didn't think that one was there. Then the Falcons caught a bunch of money today as well. And they're up to 2.5.
I don't understand that one either.
Dude, I mean,
somebody I was on our stream last night. And I was like, I don't know who moved this from Colts pick'em to Colts to dogs, but I appreciate it. And somebody was like, oh, it was Chernoff and Raz or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. So I definitely made sure to listen to him talking to Nick and Ken today, because I was like, I wanted to hear why, what did I miss? What's the angle on Falcons? And it was basically like, yeah, this is back against the wall game for them. I was like,
yeah,
because Arthur Smith definitely has that locker room, and he's going to get those guys real fired up to give 100%. And even then, it's definitely going to matter, because that defense definitely isn't like falling apart at every level right now.
Have we not seen that the Colts are in the middle of a playoff race as well? Like, does Atlanta want to win the game more than Indianapolis this week?
I don't know. I don't know.
Big. Oh, God, Olave, man, Jesus.
Yeah, we can't. The two guys I would have said are true blue top 20 wide receivers in the NFL can't catch tonight. But
are they going to go here? Are they on the field to go? They should go for this.
Yeah, they are. I think they did. Oh, look at that! It wasn't even we're going to draw them offsides, and it was not a close pass. Yikes! Don't really know what the plan was there.
Well, we still have hope for points before the half.
Yeah, good field position for Matt Stafford. Might get a ball. Don't lie. They get to 13 after all.
I'm a big fan of cashews.
Okay. Do you go salted cashews? It looks like raw.
Salted.
Yeah. Okay.
Salted. I'm not going to do raw cash. I'm not a serial killer, Drew. Oh man.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand, because like the Atlanta, market timing. Speaking of market timing, the Atlanta move today was like the most tilting of all, and it happened last week too. And I can't remember the game, so apologies. But beat reporters were literally like, "Yeah, Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman are a go," and the report hadn't come out yet. But when they're saying that you're about to get an official blast of like, these guys were limited participants, they're trending in, right? And then Atlanta started steaming, and it's like, wait. Now, why is Atlanta steaming if we know we're about to get very good news about the Colts offense?
Right.
What is happening here?
There's a few times that happens every year though, where I'm like, what the like news will come out on one team, and then the other team gets steamed, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not to say Atlanta can't cover this week, but like,
oh, of course.
God, if
They're
Atlanta
home.
goes to 3,
Gardner Minshew's on the field. He could throw 2 pick sixes.
Something similar happened a few weeks ago. Was Indy Cincy, right? Cincy got steamed, covered wire to wire.
Yeah. Maybe somebody knows Gardner Minshew can't go on the road, but it's in the dome. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't get it, man.
I honestly like the over in that game as well.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Although I mean, when the market dunks on you, it definitely makes me question, what did I miss? What else should I be looking at? I don't know. I don't get it, man. I wish I could remember which ones there were last week. You agree? It seems like, or at least the market has kind of made up its mind that T-Law is not going to play.
It looks that way. We took some Tampa Bay as well today. Just honestly, I just think that there was enough upside to play that. God, CJ Beathard is going to roast me in that game. I can already tell. I can already feel it.
I totals down to 40.5. I played 42.5, so I feel pretty smart.
Yep.
I played over 42.5. So
you know what though? Yeah. If Lawrence is out, I would be very interested to see where this bottoms out, and I would actually have some interest in the over as well.
Yeah, I don't really see any avenue for Jacksonville's D stopping Tampa as long as Baker Mayfield doesn't like self-inflicted wound them out of that game.
Yeah.
Really, really good matchups for those two wideouts. No chance, in my opinion, that the kind of half-assed pass rush for the for the Jags can beat the very good pass pro for the Bucks in that one. So,
Yep.
Bucks should pick their number and make the Jags have to be aggressive. I got a 14-1 in pocket on Jags to miss the playoffs that I think is very live.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I need Colts to win this week because I'm not counting on Case Keenum. I'll tell you that much. If Case Keenum beats the Browns, that'll be one of the more absurd results of the season.
I'll share a little secret with you that I find funny. My betting partner is a Colts fan, and he's going to bet the Colts every single week.
Sure,
but he does it on Monday, and typically like the early market move towards the Colts every week is just my partner degenning on the Colts because he wants to have a Colts bet in his pocket for the week. And I always like hear somebody breaking it down like, oh, this early move towards the Colts, what could it be? And whatever. And it's just like, no, it's just like a guy that has good money that wants to bet his favorite team and moves the market.
Nice
Very
little
happy
drive
to
there.
see you say that.
Nice little drive there.
This is huge. We got 24 at the half or 23 as of now.
Yeah, you should know better than counting on extra points, right?
Yeah, I had to correct myself. We're back in business, Drew.
Hey, the Rams win this game. I think they're primed pretty well for the 6th seed.
I hope the Rams go into fucking Detroit and beat them in round 1.
What kind of number? What kind of number are we getting there?
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna pull a Joey Kanish. Rams good at any number. Matt Stafford revenge game. This is the way it ends.
It'd be pretty cool.
It's a Goff versus his old team, Stafford against his old team. How that's the matchup we need.
If the script writers were on their game, that's what they wrote for us.
Huh.
Yeah, I hope nothing. I every week for like the last 3 weeks, Monday or Tuesday morning is like ESPN playoff machine and like figuring out what has to happen to get that matchup
right
in the 36. And actually, what I'm kind of nervous about right now is that the Lions might incidentally work their way up to 2, which could threaten it.
Do you have an opinion on that game this week? Lions Vikings.
I had every intention in the world to bet the Vikings, and I've talked myself out of it.
Okay, we bet the Vikings. I still like the Vikings.
That's been one of the more interesting two-way markets that hasn't moved off of the number that I've seen all year. Right?
Yep.
The VIG on that has bounced from even to minus 120 and back twice.
There's good two-way action on that game.
It was flat. It got up to 125. It was minus 3.5 for a nanosecond on whatever Monday, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, Monday. And then it's gone from 3 minus 120 down to minus 109, back up to 125, back down now to flat.
Yeah.
Which is or to plus 100, I guess, not even flat, but yeah. That's a pretty cool little two-way market there, and I get it. Like there's a lot of, I don't know. I only saw it through the prism of the Vikings are alive. And I've heard people make good cases for the Lions, so I kind of backed off.
The injury report is kind of worrying for Minnesota. Harrison Phillips, Daniil Hunter, Jonathan Bullard, Byron Murphy. So, like, you know, your defensive line, cornerback one. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. What's the Widowmaker spot next week?
Rams, Giants. Rams Thursday, Giants Monday.
Ooh. But the thing is, we're not going to get we're not going to get a valuable price there, especially if the Rams hold up to win here.
And it's not really as Widowmaker-y as when you're at home in that spot. So Rams are on the road, but Tommy DeVito, you really had 6 against Tommy DeVito in the Meadowlands? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Could be a weather game too, but the way Kyron Williams is running, I'm not really nervous about that, I guess. All right, man. I'm going to bounce.
Say hi to Andy.
I will. Enjoy the second half. And happy holidays to you and your crew. Happy holidays to the Forward Progress listeners. And catch you guys next time.
Thanks very much. Drew Dinsick, the whale capper, everyone. Great dude. Love chatting football with Drew. I can say I don't know if it's the cashews on top of the rum and eggnog. Stomach's feeling a little unsettled.
That doesn't seem like a good mix there. The rum eggnog plus cashews.
And I had a cheese pizza before we started, too.
Oh God. Oh
Yeah.
God. If you're throwing to the washroom, I'm here. Don't worry.
Something's brewing. I'm not there yet. The beauty of working from home anyways, I can just crap my pants. No one's going to know the difference. So
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, for sure.
But something's going on. I can't stop eating these. These are amazing. I went into Longo's.
No, I'm the most pro cashew guy on earth. You don't have to sell me on them. I used to get in university, whenever I would come back home or visit my parents, I'd always be like, Mom, you got to get me 3 Costco sized cashews, and I take them to school and I'd finish them in like 2 or 3 weeks, like the 900-gram massive tubs. They're my favorite nut of all the nuts. Apparently I love nuts. So,
well, you are the porn guy. So I don't know what porn you've been watching recently, but the corn guy now. Yes, that's not going to work. You can't give yourself your own nickname.
No. I just want to do it so we don't get any YouTube problem. That's my excuse here. But
company man, you're making sure that we that we don't get
in trouble here. Yeah.
Beer nuts are good. I mean, listen, beer nuts are the Leafs losing 9-3?
They lost 9-3.
Oh my god!
Now Samsonov is like I don't want to make this a hockey. Samsonov's just the worst goal in the world.
I can't even think about that team.
Then they put in Martin Jones ice cold and got scored on like the first 3 shots. But yeah.
All right, we got to take a look at the second half line here shortly.
Yeah, I'll pull that up in a second. I'm sad that Drew left. You guys were having good convo, good flow. I was trying to find my way to budge in there because I have a list of like I wanted him to rate hairstyles through sports, but I guess we should save that for another time. Drew's on, or we can run it if there's some dead time.
You know who'd be good for that? Feinberg. Feinberg's got a good coif too. You don't realize he wears a hat a lot, but he can rival Drew with the hair, man. He's looking slick.
Yeah, he's got very good hair he's got very good hair.
Yes. Second half line is Rams minus half plus 104. Totals 23, juiced under. Rams are getting the ball first. I kind of don't mind the Saints second half here. I kind of don't mind it. Pistachios are definitely superior. Pistachios are a great nut. However, I went to pick up some lettuce for tortellini. And the cashews, it was too good of a sale to pass up. Too good of a sale.
If I were to come in and make a comment on pistachios, the pre-shelled pistachios are not good, but the process of shelling them is like enough to knock it down a tier, in my opinion.
No, that part, no? That's what makes the pistachio experience the best.
The shelling.
You got to work a little bit.
Okay.
To get to the inside.
Okay.
That, especially the ones that are really tight too, crack those open. That's part of the experience. I don't like buying the ones where it's just the de-shelled one.
No, I tried them, but they do something different. I don't know if it's the shell preserves it for longer, or they put some some I don't know what it's called, preservatives on it to make it last longer on the shelf. But
fingers are sore after. What kind of pistachios are you buying?
No.
No. If your fingers are sore after, you time to see a doctor.
Yeah,
something's wrong with the fingers.
I got a referral for you, Chosen. I got a referral for you.
Yeah, we got a guy you can see, Dr. Sins.
What about this?
He's also been in the military before as well.
He's
plumber, electrician.
He's been a nutcracker for one of his occupations here. Do you have
my fingers hurt?
Is that from The Simpsons?
No, it's from Happy Gilmore. What did you say? I said my fingers hurt. Well, your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? Ben Stiller's so great in that movie. Okay, what do we got here?
So we got a nuts tier list. We got almonds. No idea what these are. Brazilian nuts.
Those are beer nuts. The second ones are beer nuts. No,
those are beer nuts.
I can't tell close.
Fuck, let me zoom in a bit.
Okay, the Brazilian cashews. Those Brazilian ones are shit. Let's just call it out for what it is. I'd still eat them, so I'm not gonna give them an F. But they're like E tier, D tier, yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's call this eatable.
Yeah, eatable. I like that. This is my
Let me
favorite
fix-
parts of every program is just running the tier list.
The tier
I could do
list?
tier lists for days, man. I think we fold the hammer and we just run a tier list channel.
I'm gonna come up with some good. Okay, well,
Oh, I lost track of the second half here for a second. 1 second.
sorry, I distracted you.
No, it's okay. It's the cashews. It's all the nut talk. I'm
You're
gonna
love these nuts.
I kind of like the Saints second half here. I need people to talk me out of it, and if not enough of you talk me out of it, I am gonna bet the Saints here. I'm gonna bet the Saints second half unless the Nails step up and tell me I'm an idiot. Please, someone say something right now. For the love of God. Not enough. Okay. All right. You guys want it? You got it. I'm in. $50.
Let's track it.
Lock it down.
Sounds good.
Lock it down.
And I just want to do a quick little plug here and a shout out. If anyone caught the Thursday edition of Forward Progress earlier today, congratulations on that best bet win, courtesy of me, Rashid Shaheed, over 17.5 longest reception. He smashed that. Should have hit the alts on that, but just going to victory lap that one because Hitman came on just defeated from the Wednesday best bet show. Didn't have a bet for us, so he wanted me to step in for him and give a best bet there. So
yeah,
detailed.
He's traveling with his wife right now. Of course, he's defeated. He's a broken man. He's a broken man. That's a good job there of some shameless self promotion.
Oh, I
classic Gen Z move right there.
No, honestly, I still can't do the Twitter stuff. I can't get on Twitter and be like the check marks and stuff. It's hard. It's hard mentally.
But you basically just did that in verbal form.
This is the safe space. This is a safe space.
Yeah, but you did the exact same thing that you just did it in verbally instead of typing out a tweet.
All right, fine. I'll type out the tweet then too as well, just to appease everyone.
And then put this at the end. Hashtag porn guy knows
porn guy knows balls. Okay. I'm gonna draft that up for the second half here.
Oh, my stomach is in shambles right now.
Okay, so
I gotta stop eating these things, man. Oh.
I want to cut to this tier list, but before we do, the chat
we got in the third quarter, Giants Badgers, right?
Yeah,
Aaron?
yeah.
Oh man,
Who also
Yeah.
listen, he could be your like nephew. I fully thought he was like, no, am I missing that? You guys kind of look similar.
I think he's a couple years younger than Johnny.
Okay, so he could.
Well, I mean, yeah, he could be my nephew. He could be my nephew.
I'm just starting rumors here.
I do have nephews that are. No, I don't have nephews that are that age.
Just quickly before we jump into the third quarter here, the poll right now it's 50-50, which is insane to me. You guys in the chat are sickos for even voting for Bailey's on Ice. I feel like that is just
50-50.
50% Bailey's on Ice. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy.
If you drink, Ian is a good guy. I've known Ian McMillan for a long time. Beverages, whatever, subjective opinions.
Of course.
I'm of the opinion that if you drink Bailey's on Ice, you should be institutionalized. Something is mentally not there. You're a danger to society if you're drinking Bailey's on Ice. Yeah, put a little bit of Bailey's in your coffee. Make a little cocktail, mixed drink, some type of martini, whatever.
It's just
straight is serial killer vibes.
Yeah,
serial killer vibes.
I have a story about Bailey's. Quick one here. I can never drink it again because I don't know if people in the chat know about this. You know what jungle juice is? You ever heard of jungle juice?
I've heard of
you basically just get a bunch of alcohol and liquor and whatever, sweet drinks, whatever. You mix it all together. And of course,
we're going to ask Giants Badgers about jungle juice.
And yeah, so we made a jungle juice, and one of my friends thought it was a great idea until we spent like $200 on liquor. One of my friends thought it'd be a great idea to take the little bottles that were attached to it and pour it all in as well. Problem was half of those bottles were Bailey bottles, and there was a ton of orange juice in there.
Oh no, man!
And it was
bad.
And it would literally, I drank basically curdled Bailey's, and I had one sip of it and like threw up, and it was like terrible, and it is giving me like stomach pains right now thinking about the time when I had Bailey's mixed with orange juice and a jungle juice. Terrible experience.
It's a tough break, man.
Yes. that friend.
I don't do stuff like that. I don't drink needlessly. Like I used to do like Century Club when I was younger.
Yeah.
That was like the furthest I'd push it because you're drinking beer,
Mhm.
whatever. You yak everywhere afterwards. You're an idiot kid. Then you get good at it. You do it enough times. And some asshole in your group suggests that every 10th shot you do hard liquor instead of beer. Then you want to really, well, you don't want to do anything because you can't think after like 60 shots.
Yeah, that's not good there. Not good there.
My wife was actually so kind to bring up some nutmeg for me, actually.
While she's sick too.
Yeah, this is like she just made me sick. Literally just made me. We've been trying to avoid each other. She watches the stream. And now I got some nutmeg to go. And that's it. We'll watch second half of football, lose a little money in the process.
Love it.
My guy Foster Moreau, man, he had that one target, and then that was it. One target, and that was it. Oh. I don't know about this this glass I chose tonight. The long, thin one.
That is. I like the biggest glasses possible. I don't know if I could do that. That'd drive me insane. It looks like a tall shot glass. Those like double shot glasses.
It's big. It's quite large. Look at the size of my head. It's as big as my head.
Pretty big. That's pretty big.
It's a large glass.
I also wanted to ask Drew a question. I'm sad he left because he had a straw in his drink, but he wasn't using it. And
it's a decorative straw. It's a very California hippie thing.
Okay, true. It's like the equivalent of an umbrella.
Yeah, you got to be a California hippie to do stuff like that. It's a classic Dinsick is what I call that. Classic.
Oh, well, I don't blame him. California's. I'm sure I'd be doing those things if I lived in California as well. Instead, I'm just cold in my basement. So
yeah. All right. Let's welcome in Aaron. Giants Badgers. You saw him on Circles Off a few weeks back.
What's up? How everyone doing?
How are things, man?
They're going. School's over, so we're kind of.
I'm sorry that I find that funny that you said that. Yes, I quickly forgot that you're still in school.
Yeah.
Do you have a sweat for tonight? Or are you gonna sweat along with me?
I mean, I know you placed. I don't have much on the game.
All right. Are you like a big NFL fan or casual?
I mean, I bet it on occasion. Nothing crazy. It's just whenever it pops up, basically.
Yeah. You're gonna get mocked for your age. It's only natural that people in here will
Thanks,
come with jokes.
I would say it's probably more your guys' age to go to sleep more than mine.
Wow, look at that. He turns it around very quickly on Jerry. It is true. I've had a couple glasses of eggnog and some cashews, and I'm ready for a pillow, man. That's what happens when you're in your mid-30s.
Hey, it happens.
What's
best of us.
What's your thoughts on eggnog?
Nah, it's not a huge drinker. Kind of more just mixed drinks. Nothing crazy.
Just standard eggnog, like on its own.
But don't drink
no booze.
So it's not on my list of like 5 things that I drink: Coke, Sprite, mixed drinks, lemonade. Just simple stuff. Don't cross the bridge too much. Keep it nice and simple.
Got to open up your horizons, man.
Then you crash and burn.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, I could tell you already, I am an eggnog fan, but I definitely regret this. Regret this.
I mean, I've heard the same things. People don't really like eggnog, but to each their own, right?
It's the Gen Zs, man. Gen Zs don't know what they're missing with the eggnog. They don't know. I have to ask, are you eating cashews right now?
Gummies.
What are those? Are those they're like, got it. They're not the gummies that I'm usually eating, is what you're getting at.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Second half has started.
I think I've watched a total of like 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Myself.
Okay. I have a pretty big bet on the over pregame. I'd like to
I saw that. And then you have some like anytime tutties.
I got some I always fire the anytime tutties to keep the nails happy. The people in the chat want action. They're sweating the games. I bet these things myself because I don't think it's fair to like, I'm not a big fan of people who give out plays that they don't bet themselves. But really, we just need the over to get home here, and we'll be in a good shape tonight.
It's got the script though to go over.
The script is like which script? The one that's written or just the actual game script?
The actual game script.
Yeah, not the one that they wrote in Hollywood for how this game's going to turn out.
Yeah. I sent out a tweet today about the new not film but like comedy series Bookie or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Did you watch any of it yet?
I've watched every single one that's been posted. Kind of got mixed reviews. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, it's not super realistic. Some of the stuff that they said is really just dumb.
Right.
I mean, it's comedy though.
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
I love Sebastian Maniscalco. But like his comedy rings true to me because I also grew up in an Italian family. The way that he describes his parents is like similar to my grandparents. So I find that stuff really funny, but I'm really looking forward to that. The issue is that like, I don't know what it is with a lot of these things, but pretty much I'm trying to think of any sort of gambling movie, TV series, anything like that that's been done right. And I can't think of one. Like typically speaking, they just miss the boat on like a lot of the reality of these types of situations.
Yeah, I mean, they took it to like the nth degree. They're talking like 1930s, 1940s mafia type stuff, which is what they're kind of getting at, which today's day is not really happening. I mean, the stuff that they're doing, you're just like, interesting. I mean, the cops are involved. I'm not gonna give away the whole like comedy portion, but I mean, they're in with everyone, so I mean, nothing's gonna happen. It's like straight up mafia type stuff.
A couple people in the chat talking about Rounders being solid. I loved Rounders growing up, but listen, like the giveaway in that movie was a guy's tell at the poker table was cracking open Oreos and all the cream went to one side or it didn't. Like it's the most ridiculous thing ever. So I love Rounders. It's a great movie, but like also they could have thought of like another tell that wasn't as stupid as a guy cracking Oreos. Uncut Gems came out before same game parlays were a thing. And like he was going to place a parlay on like Kevin Garnett to win the tip off and score the first basket of the game and the Celtics to first half. And like you couldn't parlay that anywhere in the world at that time.
Right.
It's a good movie again, but like, you get a little frustrated when you see stuff like that.
And they're taking it, all those films are taking it from a completely different perspective than what we're dealing with. So it's kind of just like, it's like the super degen because that's what's comedy.
Of course. Uncut Gems actually gives me anxiety when I don't know if you're familiar and if you've watched it with Adam Sandler.
I've seen brief clips, but nothing. I haven't watched the whole movie.
Yeah,
I've been told like dozens of times to watch it, but I just never not had the time.
Yeah, I thought it's a good movie, but like I can see people who would really not like it. Who's injured on this play? By the way, I just have to see this really quickly. Is it Kyron Williams? Oh no, not Kyron Williams. So running back for the Rams. He's a very good player. I just missed a live opportunity to bet some touchdown scores on the Rams, which I would have went for.
Do you bet on the stream as everything's going on?
Yeah. It's tough to do though. I will say, I love the people. I've made a decision in life to prioritize content as much as my betting, and it's a conscious decision that I've made. But oftentimes, I lose some EV over the course of streams just because I get caught up in the moment. We joke around, fucking around, it happens, but whatever. It is what it is. I have fun doing these. And it's much better than just like sitting by myself watching the game, I will say.
Oh, for sure. I mean, do you watch almost every single NFL game that you like that on?
Do I
like on Sundays? Are you octo boxing every single game?
So I watch Red Zone on Sundays.
Okay.
And then Monday, typically what I'll do is I'll I'll make like a tier list of games that I want to watch based off of the box score, or stuff that I've seen on Twitter where someone's like, oh, this guy played amazing or whatever. And I watch the condensed version of those games. So typically speaking, I'm watching Red Zone on Sunday, and then Monday, anywhere between 8 and 10 games on average.
Sure.
I love that though.
I'm surprised you have enough time to watch 8 to 10 games, do figures and everything else. It's just
Figures. I don't have to do figures for myself,
okay.
which is nice. God, the days of doing figures on Mondays. Oh yeah. No, I don't do figures for us, which is beautiful. So yeah.
I envy you.
Oh, it's brutal, man. I mean, just describe it for the people that don't know what you're talking about.
Oh God! So I mean, as you put stuff into accounts, depending on how many people you work with, etc., you have to do all the figures for every single person, distributing how much basically every single person is owed. In an account, there could be 6, 7 people that are owed money based off like what the bets are, and so you could be splitting it, what, $100 profit in 7 different ways. 7 different splits, one being 30, one being 15, one being 10, one being 5. Who's on free roll? Who's in makeup? And then it's so chaotic.
It's tough, and then you have other people have to review. They come back to you and they're like, "Oh, this doesn't match," and whatever.
And then you come back on Wednesday, Thursday, and it's like we're halfway through the week. Now I have to redo all these numbers. Yeah.
Tough. I mean, it's the life you've chosen, and whatever. There's pros as well. It's not just cons. Derek is dying for me to do a live bet right now on stream. Derek, I do live bet on the stream pretty regularly. I'm not a degenerate though, and absolutely do not need to fire a bet on every play. So if we find something, I'll bet it, but I don't have anything right now.
Just to jump in here, we literally just live bet the Saints, like literally
At the half.
5 minutes ago.
Yeah. We took a halftime play on the Saints.
Anyways.
Yeah. The best times to live bet are when someone gets injured.
Right.
Typically speaking, you see someone down on the field, you think who's next man up. You can play in-game props nowadays. Don't worry, Derek. You don't have to apologize. I just wanted to let you know. I like action as much as anyone else. I just don't feel the need to.
Those props generally close. At least a good portion of the time.
Yes.
In-game props. If someone's injured, depending on stream delay and stuff like that.
You got like 10 to 15 seconds usually.
Uh-huh.
Dude, what the fuck was Stafford just doing here? I think he's trying to hold the ball. Wow. Well,
bad for the over, good for Saints.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not, honestly. What was that drive? 3 minutes, 42 seconds. Yeah. To get 3 points. I mean, it's not the end of the world. The live
will be at the goal line.
Yeah, and how many times this has happened? Like 3 times this game already.
Yeah,
where they've been down in this range. I think the live total's 47 right now.
Okay, I'm probably the most likely scenario it ends is probably a 48 or 44.
Well, it's going to be a sweat. I played some 44.5, 45. We have some 46.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what did it open at? 44.5.
I think that was the opener on Sunday night. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's wrong side of 44, which is, you know.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. The Rams have moved the ball up and down the field. They're averaging 7 yards a play. They keep getting into the red zone. They can't score. Here you go. Do multiple people use the same account?
Yes. It depends on, there's a couple different things. If the account's good for certain sports and you don't have those sports, say some people are specialized in soccer, tennis, baseball, whatever, basketball, football. Some accounts are going to be restricted to only mainline NFL, NBA, college basketball, no extras, and so you kind of tailor the account to those specific things. And there's certain people that do those better than others, and obviously for your partners, you want the best opportunity for profit. So you kind of just stick with those guys.
There you go. People learning new stuff every single day. People learning new stuff every day. I don't know their expected points offhand. Sorry, Scott. Go ahead, Giants Badgers.
Generally, the counts are handed 4 or 5 groups. It could be very easily. And it really just depends what the options on the accounts are. If there's live options, there's live groups.
Oh yeah, live groups.
Yeah, live groups.
Yes,
We don't need to get into specifics.
live groups that are hitting at like a 95% clip.
Yeah. So I had sent something the other day. They were trying to take an angle. Won't give out the angle because that's BS. But they were hitting at, I don't know, low 50s, high 50s on just first quarter, like spreads and totals. And a guy sent to me, is this action sharp? So then I looked at it. I was like, yeah. You can see like so quickly, and I'm like, it's not that hard to look at, especially if you're playing live.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you learn through experience a lot of times, and you just see certain things, and you kind of know what's going on in a lot of the instances. But yeah, certain skins. What is it? Bet Fast Action, Sun Wager. Some of those are some pretty good live skins. Let's just say
They're all. I mean, easy live is so easy to beat. You don't even need. You don't even need like.
Easy Live
also,
is on like a serious delay. Something's going on there where it's
which is also the Bet365 for those that are in Canada or any Bet365 state, so you can enjoy your opportunities there.
Yep. Kyle wants to know who you are. I will say, if you want a full detailed background on Giants Badgers, we interviewed him on Circles Off. How long ago is that now? It's like a month ago.
It was Thanksgiving. So
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
U.S. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, released on Thanksgiving.
Full origin story is there, but essentially he's a student right now who's also very much successfully betting on sports, getting down for other large groups in the space.
Yeah, so yeah, basically that's it. I work with people like Rob originators who know what they're doing. Obviously, as you scale up, it's harder to get down more and more, and kind of need this segment your concepts and go with straight origination, because that by itself takes so much time. And you work with people like me who get down, and then yeah, everyone gets their little cut.
We put a link in the chat to the episode if anyone wants to check that out at another point in time. Feel free to do so. It was a good chat altogether. We covered a pretty wide variety of topics on that one.
Yeah, got a good response. A lot of people think they enjoyed it.
I was going to ask you about that. Some of them we get not a great response, and like the guest. Like we did an episode with someone who goes by China Maniac, who's like a top down, China, right?
I mean, he doesn't know who I am, but like obviously I know who he is.
Yeah, but like a lot of people don't, and a lot of people thought that he was a fraud from the episode that he did with us, and he got a lot of negative feedback. So I was interested in if you've had new people reach out to you.
Oh,
how that's gone.
I mean, that's basically been like the last month. Just
good
pretty
for
much
you.
Phone calls, almost every single day for basically hours on end, almost taking away from like the business portion.
Well, networking's a huge part of it. You know how it is. So
yeah, exactly.
Definitely important.
Definitely loved it. I think I got a good response, and I think partners who have started with us are pretty happy.
All right, big third down here. Yes.
That's your guy.
Foster Moreau, baby. Let's go. Foster Moreau jersey incoming.
Do you have Anytime Tutty, or what do you have for him?
Yeah, we have Anytime Tutty on him as well, but
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. I actually don't bet a lot on props generally, like relative bet size to game sides and totals.
I mean, you can't really.
Yeah. No. But I actually do have a pretty sizable bet on this one tonight, so it's nice when enough of a sweat.
Penny, where you betting these props?
everywhere is
Everywhere,
the
yeah.
honest answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I suspected, didn't know like
Yeah.
breakdown and stuff.
So typically you're going to bet in spots that are not going to where the line's not going to move, typically speaking, first, and then afterwards you bet it everywhere. But like
Yeah.
no one respects I barely bet props. Weird enough, like in certain accounts, even like a Pinnacle account, for example, if I bet a side or a total on an NFL game, the line will immediately move. But if I bet a prop, even for max, it like they just don't respect my prop action, or I don't bet it enough that like it doesn't move off of that bet. So it's nice.
That's surprising. That is really surprising.
Yep.
I mean, their limits are decent from what I remember on props.
They're not bad. They're not bad. It depends on the book. Like for every, it's hard to say like limits are decent at a certain book because they're different for everyone, generally speaking, except Pinnacle. Pinnacle has a posted limit, but depending on the prop, 500 to 1,000, generally speaking. But anyone can get that, which is nice.
Yeah, that's definitely very solid.
Yeah.
I mean, NFL props, so that's not great if I'm being honest. Maybe like towards the NBA and like NHL stuff, that's pretty solid. But NFL, there's so many. But it's also like 61.5 versus 62, different juice. So it's kind of just playing around there.
Yeah. Okay, so Carr just threw an interception. I need him to not be hurt here as well. Because I got another. Hit. Yeah. I mean, not a great throw. Let's see what he does. He doesn't see that it's zone there. Anyways,
over though.
It is. We're going to get the Rams are going to start at the Saints 40 here. It's good for a good game state for Carr to throw more passing yards. I have him over. I personally have him over 227.5 and 230.5.
Well, so he doesn't die, and that should be decent.
Pretty much at this point, yes. Just need him to stay out on the field. The
NFL season treating you well?
Yeah. Like I tell this to everyone. I'm like pretty upfront with it. Generally speaking, like I would prefer a season that goes like this, slowly up to the right. And it's been a lot of this year, but we've won, done fairly well. It's harder and harder to beat, especially like, I'm getting to the point now where there has to be consideration to betting earlier to be able to get more volume. And like
you have to bet so early.
Yeah. I might have to reach out to you actually in the next few weeks or so to see what we can do for an earlier market.
You definitely. We can discuss after some stuff. I'll text you after this and we can.
Yeah.
I'll explain.
It's tough.
It's definitely, dude. I know how tough it is. I mean, I see it every single day. It really just depends on a bunch of different factors. I think it's market availability, though. I don't know how it is for NFL early. But yeah, it's just craziness. I mean, I'm mostly betting right now NBA, college basketball. If we we bet 3 days prior.
Have you been able to keep accounts alive with the college basketball stuff?
Yeah, there hasn't been an issue. I've only been progressively growing accounts.
That's good.
But I mean, it's also a lot of like extras and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you can keep accounts open with extras, I applaud you.
When I was like 18, 19 years old, I was an agent for a few years, and I could tell you as soon as I saw extras, that was it for the account.
Chopped, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the sure sign that someone who knows what they're doing is betting there.
Yeah. You can kind of hide it a little here and there, sure. But if you're only betting extras, but that's what I was talking about earlier. Is like they'll just restrict you to straight NBA, straight normal college basketball, put like a 3-hour time limit prior to game, and then you can't. And it's just like, okay, you really have to be fucking good.
I would never really cut someone off, but yeah, you just remove, like we were able to remove extra games, and that's all we would do. Yeah. But yeah. All right, let's get a tutty here. Let's get in the end zone. I do not want to see another field goal on this drive. We got it. We got our touchdown.
Do
All
you
right.
do you have Williams touchdown or anything like that?
I didn't bet it. Best price I could find was like minus 175 on him
For
anytime
anytime?
touch. Yeah.
Jesus, could you find a no? I feel like no has value at that price.
Honestly, most of the time that they actually do. Typically speaking, with this market, even if you line shop, so like honestly, I have access to like 20 books in Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Even if
guys have
you're
one of
taking
best options.
even if you're taking the best price from every book, it's still pretty high hold on the market overall.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're
Because
talking like greater than 5%.
oh yes. Oh yeah. And you're
what's the
almost
hold?
never going to
I mean, you're
find
never
value
gonna
at
get
the top of the board.
You're never gonna get a minus 155 at points bet. So good luck finding. So I mean, most realistic there is like minus 165 versus plus 141. I don't know what that hold is off the top.
So here's another, like, listen, Pinnacle's our sponsor. You guys, like Jason just brought it up on screen. Another thing I love about Pinnacle is you can bet the no on these touchdowns, and you can't bet them anywhere else. And in a lot of cases, you can actually arb. In some cases, you can actually arb based off of the prices. So just be aware of that. But like, I hate with a passion that some of these books can only offer one-way markets. Like, that drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially when you get into the like same game parlays of 20 plus points. Wembenyama minus 500. Are you fucking serious?
I know.
Like, are you actually? Can I just bet? I mean, you can bet no. That's the thing. FanDuel, for example, you can bet no, but the hold is like 12%. It's like minus 500 versus plus 350. Like, good luck.
Yep. It's that's painful. Very painful. I'm doing my quick first run through of the hockey board tonight to see how my bets are going.
We had Devils over 7. That was the only bet I think we took.
Okay, you won that. I had nothing on that game.
Okay.
I had Flyers under 6. It looks like that pushed. I have Wild under 6, which is in play right now, 2-2. Had the Penguins.
I think we might have Calgary under or something. I don't even know. I would have to check my spreadsheets.
I think we might have Calgary puck line. I got to double check that as well. Lots going on. God, I love betting so much, man. I love sports betting. It's the best. So good.
Are you betting college basketball yourself or no?
I'm not.
Do you get into
Sorry.
the account?
No. I might be getting college basketball. You probably know some people that I give up my accounts to that I'm not using during.
I definitely do. Also, I know for a fact I do.
Okay. So I'm definitely getting college basketball bets in those accounts, but I don't pay attention to them. I don't know what's going on. I don't do figures.
That's what the person who told me, or who you give accounts to. He was like, I don't know what the hell is going into the accounts, but at the end of the week, I'm pretty happy. Yeah,
it's I have, listen, one of the nice things about, I came onto the sports betting content space in like 2010 on Twitter and developed my own personal brand and my profile. And one of the nice things about that over the years is that people want to work with me, generally speaking.
For sure.
So I can get, accounts very easily, but I don't need a ton of liquidity to bet NFL, especially when we typically bet NFL Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, I don't need to
in the week.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff based off of injury reports and news and stuff like that.
That's fair.
The bet size is fairly large.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So
I can just imagine.
Yeah, it's not all mine. I work as part of a larger group.
I know. I mean, still, I've seen the orders that I've seen for like NBA and stuff, and I'm like, if this is an NBA order, I can just imagine what like sizable NFL orders are looking like.
Yeah, look at some of the movement on Sunday mornings for some of these games, right? It's like, okay, Pinnacle is 100K, Chris is 100K, Circa's 100K. All these PPHs are getting hit on top of it. Like, there's groups literally betting like 500K a pop at minimum on Sunday morning.
I got on an NBA game a couple of days ago. Like similar to that size, and I'm like, if that's an NBA game day of, like, I can just imagine what a Sunday NFL is. If you're getting 7 figures liquidity.
Yeah, when I used to work with a larger betting group, in like an exclusive capacity for hockey, I would be able to see what their overall positions were on all the games. And like, I would look at some of the bet sizes and I would be like, I didn't even know you could possibly bet this much on like, I don't even know where these bets are coming from, where the markets are coming from. It was insane, the amounts that were being bet on hockey games. So it's pretty huge, man. It's huge.
Yeah, the only thing that I suspect that's going to continue happening is just betting progressively earlier and earlier and earlier, and eventually lines are going to open more than a day in advance, I think.
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad. Like it obviously sucks to lose your prices early in the week, but there's also lots of people who have market influence now that I'm not suggesting that they shouldn't have market influence, but there's so much attention being paid to them that a lot of these lines overmove in instances, in my opinion, creates opportunities on the other side. So whatever, it's at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's adapt or die in sports betting. Sure. So
without a doubt, there's no question there. I mean, there's no really, stuff has changed in like 3 months, I see. I can just imagine where it's going to go in like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Hopefully towards a fairer market.
No, doubtful.
But doubtful. Highly doubtful. Just checking. Derek Carr's at 213 yards right now. Just need a little bit more. Little bit more to go here. Basically need
it was a interesting circle off today, I will say. I like 50. I like 50. It's a good guy.
So he interviewed me a long time ago. And he asked like some really interesting questions. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, I've heard a lot about him. I know he's still working with, people generally just speak highly of him, and he's, figured I have him on. We got some big things coming up in the new year as well. Interesting guests all over the place. So I enjoy doing it quite a bit.
Yeah, no, that's my opinion, obviously biased, but best gambling pod out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Don't say that to Spanky though.
No, Luke's probably in the chat.
Luke might still be in there. Honestly, Luke is the best, man. Like, he doesn't even know anything about sports yet. He just
I love talking to Luke. He's the best.
He is great. I sat down with him at Barry's at Circa back in August, and yeah, he's a big fan. At some point, I want to have Luke on Circles Off. I will not take no for an answer. I will not take. Spanky keeps telling me, no, he's not doing your podcast before he does mine. But I think at some point he's going to have to come on.
For sure. I'll nudge him too.
Yeah. We got a drop here. So they're offense is staying on the field, which
they kind of have to.
They have to. This is the plan. This is the play. So we just got to pray here.
And he scored a touchdown here, and just some bullshit prevent, and you should be good.
Oh, they threw short of the sticks.
I don't get that. That's the one thing.
Yeah, well, I've watched
as a Giants fan, I've seen it my whole life. It's the epitome of the offense. 10 yards to go, throw it 8, throw it 7.
I've watched Derek Carr long enough to know that this is not uncommon, unfortunately. Honestly, if we could have rewound that play and I could have gave you the most likely outcome, number 1 would have been he takes a sack. Number 2 would have been he throws it short of the sticks. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man.
It's so stupid. It's just, there's like 3 things that irk me. Third and long, it's auto draw, auto screen, and it's like they get it. The worst.
I hate that.
And then 3rd and 10, and then you're throwing it 6 yards, and you're like, is that really like the best option there? It doesn't do anything to get 6.
It doesn't. I mean, I'm checking for the updated live line here at Pinnacle. and we got
4.
47 over -121. So it's going to be a sweat. I'm still in good shape. But God, that is pain sometimes.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but really, what can you do?
Yep. What are you going to do? I got
I
a
mean,
message from a friend that says, I am Carr from New Orleans. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. A loser? I don't get it. I am Carr from New Orleans. Sure.
I mean, as long as they're gonna get the ball back, so the over on the yard should be good.
The yard should be good.
That seems kind of low. Like thinking about it, that number just seems low, given the fact that they're probably gonna lose the game and they're gonna be trailing, and then they're gonna have to throw.
You know what? Those are the arguments that I was making earlier on.
I mean, obviously it's hindsight bias, given the fact that they're down 20 and have to throw every single play, but point still stands.
Yeah. I had that. Let me see what I had him modeled at. Don't want to slow down the stream too much. I had him modeled for 247 yards today.
Okay.
That's not a huge. Well, I mean, it is a big edge for props.
It's
It's like
10%.
yeah,
10%.
it is. It was higher than 10% for me when I played it. Yeah.
But what point of this distribution is like above that versus below that? Like what? I mean, standard deviation wise, I mean, you can't. Realistically, you can't go down or up so much more from that.
Correct.
So it's got to be within like 50 yards. I feel like is basically the mean. Like 200 to 300 is probably happening 80% of the time, maybe higher.
Yeah. Especially in games like this where it's like weather is known because it's indoor. Like there's some games where you get like a lot more variance on what it can be.
Sure.
Oh man. Oh. It's time to break out the lacrosse ball. You ever use these? Or are you too young to have to use one of these?
I got a Theragun, so I just go.
Yeah, I do too, but I can't really use it that much for the back. Theragun's good for.
I got a heating pillow that's a massage pillow as well. It's like $30. Yeah, I mean you have to be by an outlet though, so.
There's got to be like some sort of battery version of that, no?
I don't know. But the problem with the battery is it might fucking explode.
That's true.
With heat.
It's true. Oh.
But I got the Theraguns are nice.
The Theraguns are good. Every now and then I get the itch to work out for some reason or another. Sometimes the legs the next day, bad shape. The Theragun helps a lot. But it's hard for the back to reach specific spots in the back.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, I feel for you, Jameel. I pinched a nerve in my neck a year and a half ago playing too much golf.
Oof.
Yeah. So I had
to. It was the putt.
Not the putt, actual golf, but I would get pain all down the left side of my body, my shoulder, behind my tricep. I'm still doing physio for that. I do physio every single week to just like to make sure that I can play golf, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's for how strenuous or not strenuous golf is. It can cause some serious fucking injuries.
Well, when you're playing like 5 or 6 rounds a week.
Well, I envy you for playing 5 or 6 rounds a week. I wish I could play that much.
If you saw my game, you wouldn't envy me. I learned that playing 5 or 6 rounds a week when you're doing bad things, you just form the bad habits that are like very hard to break out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear that. It's definitely can be difficult, but I mean, it's a great sport if you enjoy it.
I was getting recommended to a doctor by producer Jason over here. This is the guy he sees. Yeah, this is the guy he's been seeing lately. Apparently he's seen him 7 times a week, is what I understand.
He blew my back out and is currently fixing it. I actually did blow my back out though. That's not a joke. That's real.
Yeah,
that is real.
And you visit Dr. Sins.
And I visit Dr. Sins ever since,
Yeah.
and he's just
There you go.
been able to fix it for me. So
Oh my God, man, we get up to the dumbest shit here. Bob asks if putt-putt's coming back in the summer. I am in talks again with World Putting League about doing a lot more stuff. So yes, the plan is to bring back the World Putting League stuff.
You got to have it on bowl so we can bet it again.
Yeah, I mean, the final event that we did was on
Bet, the handle on
Betfred.
It was on everything.
It was on a lot more. They're working toward. I mean, they're including me because they're working towards getting it into as many regulated books as possible. But yeah, I agree with you. It's amazing. Like that to me is like you're not going to make a lot of money betting that stuff, obviously.
I mean, the max bet should be $50 just for fun. Like that's a legitimate degenerate fun bet. Like, come on.
Exactly. That's like recreational content at its best, in my opinion, at least. It's short. You know, you're not waiting for 4 hours for it to settle. Love that stuff.
I mean, it's great. I mean, you get the quality entertainment value. Like that's legitimate entertainment.
Yep, I'm with you. What are your plans for the rest of the night here? Just eat some more gummies. Play some video games.
No, I don't really play video games anymore. Working too much. I gotta go do some overnights. I've already missed a couple.
All right. I'll let you go. Giants Badgers, everyone. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at Giants Badgers. Check out the Circles Off episode we did a few weeks back as well. Peace out, man. Thank you very much for joining.
Appreciate it.
All right. Giants Badgers. That was pretty good. Good kid. Like him a lot. Can't say the same for the next guy here. No, don't put in Jameis. No, put in Jameis. I need Carr to get 15 more yards here to hit his over.
I mean, does that even feel right morally though? Like if he gets over this, but you subject America and the rest of the free world to another drive of Derek Carr football, does that feel right to you?
If you could guarantee me that the game over hits if Jameis is in, then I would take Jameis right now and lose the Carr bet. I have full game over here. And my God, is it going to be a sweat?
I can't believe this team was like in the game, basically, right? Like at the end of the half, that, 14-point swing basically after the missed fourth down and then the drive by the Rams. It's just, I don't know. It's funny. You remember early in the year when we were doing Survivor and I was like, what is keeping you from picking New Orleans against Tennessee week 1? And you're just like, Dennis Allen might be the worst coach in the NFL. And I guess like there's always these times when like I don't pay as much attention to certain things and maybe I just don't pay as much attention to certain things. And I don't know if I necessarily realized how bad Dennis Allen was until you said that to me and I like dug into it a little bit more. He's terrible.
You didn't realize it because there's so many bad coaches that you're fixated on a weekly that you're like, it kind of falls under the radar. But I want to get synced up with you if we can. Am I ahead of you or am I behind you? I was pumping up.
Okay, so they're going with the replay of Nakua right now.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you, I think.
Yeah, I'm on a farm in Wisconsin right now, and so I don't know where I don't know where I'm at. Like as far as like usually I'm ahead of you on Thursday Night Football, but now I mean, fuck, who knows?
Yeah.
There's like
how is the farm in Wisconsin? Everything good out there?
Oh my God. I drove by a Let's Go Brandon like barn, the whole, and then the Confederate flag, which I don't get. This is the North. I don't get but yeah, it's certainly something else. No, I mean, I lived close to here for like 6 years, so I'm used to it. It's cool. My brother-in-law has basically like a farmhouse next to my in-laws, so I'm just like chilling here by myself. It's honestly the best Christmas ever.
Are you on like your standard laptop right now, or Or what's going
I'm just
going on?
I'm just sitting in a chair with my laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, the camera is like really clean. The internet is
I
really
have
good.
I have one of those low-G ones. I make sure because I know that like there was the one promo you cut for this where I was like, oh, my camera looks terrible. I look like I'm like in a fog bowl. So then I make sure to bring the camera. You know, we gotta make this stream the best we can, you know.
Of course, quality is very important to me, man. Quality is very important to me. Which is why I don't invite
watching this. Are you watching this college football game at all?
No, I didn't bet it, so I don't have it on. No.
Every bowl game so far, I believe, or at least like the last like 4, the underdog has gotten out to a huge lead and then just absolutely pissed it down their leg every single game and didn't even cover the close on any of them.
I had Marshall plus 10. Yeah. That game was a priv for sure.
That game was the quarterback. At the beginning, it looked like Chad Pennington's kid was better than Josh McCown's kid, and then by the end of the game, you're like, how the hell do these two share a field? Chad Pennington's kid was like terrible.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Chad Pennington was also pretty. Well, you know what? He didn't have the arm strength, man. He was throwing ducks all over the field. Chad Pennington back in the day.
He was like this. This gives you a little bit of a glimpse into the PFF system. When we went back and redid 06, he had the second highest grade behind like Peyton Manning in 06.
Wow.
Which just like, oh yeah, he's a statuesque.
Is that where you think that the grading system could be broken and then you have to spend like weeks trying to see what's going on?
I don't even think the grading system's broken. I just think the grading system values the wrong thing in the modern NFL, if that makes sense. Like the grading system basically grades the quarterback at the point of the throw, which like the best quarterbacks, like always the best quarterbacks engineer the best throws. And like to me, it was, emblematic of a time of like, when they first started grading quarterbacks, the best quarterbacks were Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, right? Who always like their big thing was just get the ball out quick, accurate, blah, blah, blah. And like, I just don't know if that's actually like Mahomes is not even that accurate at the point of the throw. It's just like he engineers the best throw almost all the time, which I think, and then the sack avoidance thing, which is what I'm trying to bring up a little bit more often every once in a while, is just to say, like the sack avoidance thing is real. If you can avoid sacks, you're going to be better off. And the PFF system really doesn't ding a quarterback all that much for being a sack magnet.
With that field goal, I'm now officially back to minus EV on the total. Live in play is 44.5, minus 132 to the under. And I got to tell you, Eric, I don't think we're getting there. We're in the Sean McVay wants to run out the clock portion of the game, and the Saints are too incompetent to do anything on offense portion of the game.
Yeah, I have a Kyron Williams alt I'm trying to get to here, but we saw, was it Ron Rivers' kid? I need like 2 more carries from Kyron Williams, like of normal production to get there.
This is going to end up being a really good prop game for me, and it's not even going to matter because the total is going to lose, and such is life. Such is life.
You could get one of these, like, I mean, if they put Jameson right now, I know that hurts, but if they put Jameson, somebody's scoring a touchdown.
Yes.
Either he hangs one, and it gets picked off by like, one of the Rams, or
I'm with you.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of upside there to scoring for sure, just on the sheer. I mean, although Carr is pick six worthy as well. Carr is definitely pick six worthy as well.
Yeah, and also Carr, like, it's actually funny because Carr in that deep part of the field is actually pretty good. It's just that he's such a little bitch. Like he doesn't throw it that much, right? But he's actually, if he squares his shoulders and throws a deep ball, he's actually solid. I don't, it's just that he'd rather check the ball down on 4th and 7.
I had too many rum and eggnogs tonight and forgot to remind people to smash that like button every single quarter like I normally do. So just smash it. down below.
Matt, I have a little bit of iced coffee with a little Bailey's in here.
Yeah, but you're not drinking straight Bailey's on ice. It's iced coffee with Bailey's, right?
Correct. It mixed it in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Ian McMillan joined the stream last week where he was drinking straight Bailey's on ice, and I almost fucking puked everywhere watching that shit.
Can you imagine the cholesterol like coursing through your body when you drink something like that? Like, hey, let's just take like more than whole milk and with some alcohol mixed in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, everyone makes bad decisions. I've been ripping some of these cashews here tonight. It's big.
Oh yeah. Cashews are like basically anything like that is technically bad for you, which sucks.
No, these are like healthy nuts, man. Healthy oils.
But isn't the calorie and the fats on those just like, I mean, it doesn't matter for you because I'm
170 pounds, man. Like, yeah.
Do not be afraid of fat. Calories matter more than fat. There's a
you guys can say that all you want, but when you're a cheeseburger away from being an LT, you gotta actually keep your you gotta worry about those things.
Fair. No, you're right though. Nuts are very high in fat, but they are healthy fats. You just got to do it in moderation. They're very, very dense though. Very, very dense in fat.
Let's see what Derek Carr has in store for us here.
I'm gonna go with a 5-yard pass. Oh, nope. Check down the Camara for 2 yards. Don't worry. The Saints will go on an 8-minute touchdown drive here because that's all they know how to do.
The Rams are out here winning football games with a Kella Witherspoon at corner, wearing like 44. I mean, this is a really like he's the coach of the year, right? I mean, if you add it all up,
is he?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think Shane Steichen's the coach of the year.
I think that one's a good one. I think Kevin Stefanski's a good one. I think until they've melted down for the last month, I thought Kevin O'Connell was a good one. But McVay, I mean, this team is actually going to be competitive with a good team in the playoffs, don't you think?
The Rams
if they play
are going to go to Detroit, and they are going to win because Stafford is going to do his old team dirty, and Goff is not capable of doing his old team dirty.
Yeah. Kind of a dream scenario would be if the Lions got the 2 seed and you got to go to Detroit twice in the play, stay there for like 2-7 game, they win that game. 2-3 game, they win that. Yeah, that'd be that's the path for them is to catch like the Seahawks or the Vikings or somebody or the Packers, even though the Packers beat them. Yeah, if they catch the Rams, I think they're fucked. I even think the NFC East, like the NFC East winner, better watch themselves against the Rams.
But the NFC East winner, yes. Sorry. Yeah, you almost want it. It's kind of dumb to say that. You don't really want that because then you're not competing for the number 1 overall seed. But like your first round matchup, even though it's on the road, Dallas Tampa is a game that I'd feel pretty confident in.
Yeah. You think I have this like spidey sense that the Buccaneers are going to melt down this weekend. And I know that like Beathard's playing and I know, they're not very like the Jaguars are not very good, but I don't know. The hype train on Baker Mayfield has gotten out of control this week.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of want GRP to cash his big Baker Mayfield ticket.
You have turned, Rob, I got to say, you've turned a little bit from your misanthropic ways a bit, right? You're rooting for Fezzik to win the circa millions.
I'm rooting for Fezzik for pure chaos. Like I like the chaos side of it. Yes.
Yeah, and you're rooting for for the same reason, right? Like you're rooting for GRP wins out of pure, for pure chaos. Dude,
can the Saints stop throwing screen passes? Like they're calling every screen in the book right now. What is wrong with this team? There's very few people that I actually root against. Like
Me in trivia because I beat you
No,
in
no, no,
round
no, no,
two.
no. No, not even that. Simon Hunter, number one.
At this point, we have to be rooting against Hitman and his best bets. No,
Nope.
no, we just let
Nope.
it happen.
He'll lose organically. I don't have to root against him.
Okay, fair.
He'll lose organically. Simon Hunter won. There's a guy named Spread Investor. That guy's another used car salesman. Number two. I think that's it off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more.
Well, the problem with Simon Hunter is he gave you such good material, but it's like the world wasn't ready for it yet. Like the broader world. Like all of us thought it was funny and honestly amazing. But now the comments in that, like 10 years from now, if somebody tried to pull what Simon Hunter pulled on that podcast, it would be the funniest thing. Like everybody would universally think it was funny.
Eric, do you know how sad that is? Like that video now, it's very good for SEO because it has like Simon Hunter in the description and whatever, and people search him. But we get like 2K new views on that every month for an episode that was recorded over a year ago. And I read the comments every week, and like they're actually seriously depressing. You're right. Maybe it's just way ahead of its time, but it is actually really depressing.
Yeah. I think in sports, so broader society, I have no opinions. I'm not an expert, but I think in sports, the conversation generally does trend smarter, doesn't it? Like over time, like the fourth down decision stuff, in baseball, X time through the order stuff. You rarely see somebody like go up and like grill a manager on Twitter because they didn't leave a guy in anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of we trend towards efficiency in sports. And I think the reason, obviously, unlike general society, is like there's a scoreboard. So I think in 10 years that will be considered silly, but who knows? I mean, the sports betting space kind of surprises at times.
Come on. All right. We're down to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 2 at the 5. Yeah, it's honestly like a little bit scary that there are so many people who believe that he is like the Billy Walters of sports betting. It's scary how many people go to bat, like, again, for the millionth time. Whatever, I can shit on him all I want, but he actually maintains a public record. He locks his picks in on Action Network. They're publicly visible. There's like 1,100 plays in the NFL, and he's down like 20 units lifetime. But the amount of people who will go to bat for him, and they're like, "Oh, I've tailed Simon from the beginning, and he's a winner." And I don't know, man. Like, people are insane. Come on.
Oh, did we get it?
Jawan Johnson. Okay.
Anytime
now they're going to
go. We talked about
they should go for 2.
Yes. Jason
Carr's
brought
walking
up
off the field, but
Jawan Johnson on the show. Yeah,
he's very happy. Don't bring him back. Don't let him come back on camera. He's already patted himself on the back once today.
By the way, I finished just recently the Billy Walters book. Rob, did you? I mean, you're so busy. Did you get a chance to read it?
I did.
I'm interested in your opinion because I have one on the book.
In regards to like just overall review of the book.
Yeah.
I didn't find it super interesting.
I thought it was a slog, man.
Yeah, it was very hard for me to get through. I don't read a lot. I mean, I felt compelled to read this because like I'm in the sports betting space. I think it's important to like, I don't think greatest better ever, but yeah.
I don't think he came off like I have nothing disparaging to say about him as a person after reading it. Like he wasn't braggadocious. He wasn't like, oh, this is a super secret. Like he was pretty upfront about the fact that like I was a loser, then I was a winner, and then I got it. Like I just thought that the way which was ordered and like, how in a book you read a book, like the first 100 pages are work and then the rest is just enjoyable, right? And the first 100 pages of that book sucked. And I wanted to get through the book, obviously, because he's a legend and there were some good parts of it. But if they ordered the book differently, I thought it would have went differently.
My wife left the Britney Spears book on the kitchen table downstairs. I read a chapter of that. It was way more interesting than anything in the Billy Walters book. I'll tell you that. Way more interesting. Dennis Allen didn't go for 2 here. So now they're down 16. And like this guy's, you want further proof that he's an absolute moron. Now they have you want to know what position you're in earlier in the game.
You want to know
so
if you're going to kick an onside kick here, because my guess is now they're not, because they think that they're one stop, an 8. Yeah. In your sake, though, did you get 40? What number did you get on the total?
We got a little bit of everything. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
40. So 44.5. Like we would have won a very small amount of our bet.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 40, all the way up to 46.5 is in play here, I think. Because if they kick an onside kick, that's obviously great, because then
yes,
that's
what I'm looking for here. And there's 6.5 minutes left here. Like they can't kick off.
You only have 2 timeouts. You don't even have you gotta. I mean, honestly, if you are the Saints, that was why going for 2 is probably decent as well, because you get it to 13. Sorry, you get it to 16. You get it to 15. I'm sorry. 18. 18's actually still 18's a decent composition. It's not great, of course, but 19 here is going to fuck you, right? Like, because then it's 3 touchdowns definitively. I always think of these things like when you're losing, the 2-pointers always, it's so asymmetrical, because even if the other team scores back at you, you still have there's ways in which like the going for 2 when they go for 1 can like kind of leapfrog things.
They kicked like a squibber down the field right now. It's gonna. He didn't let it roll out of bounds either. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is only good for my Kyron Williams overs if they keep going, and he's on the field here in the kickoff. So,
as my friend Nick Costas would say, that was oatmeal for brains right there. The kick returner, dude, just stand out of bounds and pick up the ball.
Yeah, these people, man. I don't know who their parents were.
Tough, man. Probably other football players that are equally as dumb.
Yeah. Did you see who was? Did you see the Rashard Mendenhall thing this week?
Oh man, I talked about it earlier on the show today as well. But
I can't remember who it wasn't him, but there was a football player like Wild. Oh no, it's Michael Irvin, your guy, the former Cowboy, who was like acting a fool on air, and somebody like quote tweeted and goes, "He got the fun CTE." Like these guys got the bad CTE, where like they don't know how to like add points up.
6.5 minutes to go. Yeah, it was. Me and Johnny talked about it a little bit after we recorded Circles Off this week, but we were having like a hoot just going through like the teams that we would be making. I would be running like constant 3 tight end sets as the white team without a doubt.
Yeah, and you're throwing it to Noah Gray. You're betting all the Noah Gray overs.
Noah Gray. Think about the roster though of tight ends you can put together. Mark Andrews, George Kittle.
Yep. Yeah.
Defensive holding. Not great.
The issue here is like a Rams drive that doesn't end in like a long touchdown run by Kyron Williams is going to screw you on the over here.
Yeah, the Rams could easily run out the clock here is the problem.
Right, that's what I mean. Like that's a good chunk play to get though, because you kind of think about you run out of field before you run out of clock. McVay also did like kick that field goal. Remember week 2 where he kicked the field goal to cover at the end?
Yep, I do remember that.
Maybe he knows what the total is.
I'm honestly, I got to tell you, I'm absolutely floored that they ran play action on that first down. Like that is not a Sean McVay, Mike LaFleur thing. They love to just run the clock out, hand off, maybe throw it on 3rd down occasionally. But that I'm surprised about.
Yeah.
I just don't want to lose the Rams over back-to-back weeks by 1 point. Like that's misery for me. That's misery for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, last week it was a Ron Rivera disaster class, right? Like where he took like 3 minutes to score 6 points.
Okay, this is a big run for Kyron Williams here.
Okay, good. I needed
Flag.
that.
No, flag.
No.
Oh,
Offense. Ugh. Can't have that, dude.
dude. Allen again. I mean, I mushed Davis Allen by betting him anytime touchdown score. He's committed a false start and a big holding penalty.
McVay wants this though. He just yelled. You know, he got pretty pissed here. Well, that's what you get for having one of these doofus tight ends trying to block Cameron Jordan on the edge. That is a hole.
100%. He's inside. Davis Allen, man. 5th round pick out of Clemson. Will they throw? They're going to run a draw, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to think
It's done.
so.
Okay, so now it's on Derek Carr for me to drive for a touchdown. Hey, man, Brissett did it a couple times last week.
Yep. We got, Jacob.
Okay, 2nd time out by New Orleans.
They did call a timeout, so they care.
They care. Wow. The razor's edge that we live on with the NFL.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that famous Jason McIntyre tweet.
Okay, here's a good question. What's worse? Betting an under the moment an under dies, or the moment you realize an over is not going to get there?
Moment an under dies? Sorry.
Yeah, so what is more demoralizing? The moment you lose an under, or the moment you realize this over's got no shot?
Well, here's the thing. The most demoralizing is the actual loss of the under, because even when you know the over has got no shot, you actually will convince yourself that there's still a shot. Like it's not officially dead. So you start going through all the computations in your head of how this can get there. And you come up with something that is, it's irrational, but you're like, hey, it could happen. They could fumble the snap on this kneel down. Phillip Rivers did it before. They can do it. There's always, but as soon as you lose and you officially lose, that's when the depression kicks in.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so you're like a hopeful person, because for me it's almost like, especially in the modern NFL, where you're like, the Pikachu bets, his tweets are funny. He's like, I thought over 47.5 had a chance when there were 35 points at halftime. Whenever he tweets that out, it makes me laugh.
They blocked the punt.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, went out of bounds at like the 38-ish. Oh my God, this is going to make it so much more painful now. This is the
punters look over at the sideline when it got blocked. It was pretty funny.
Dude, okay. Last week, the Bills smoked the Cowboys. But there was a play in that game that no one's ever going to remember, where someone on the Cowboys came up the middle untouched on a punt block, and he jumped in the air, and the punt went under him, and he got a roughing the punter penalty. In that, how did he not block that punt? Like, I will never understand. Like, there's these little plays that I notice that I don't want to say, like, I watch a ton of football, and not everybody watches a ton of football, but those are the ones where I'm like, I cannot believe that I actually bet on this stuff.
There was a play in high school where I had a similar, where I just like completely whiffed on blocking a punt, and there was like a 70-yard return coming back, and I like the camera on me in film was just like watching me like mope around during the play, and then when the return comes back my way, I just get like wiped out by somebody. It is honestly the woe, and that's what I think about every time some dude gets close to a punt and can't block it. But no, I mean, you remember some kind of like sicko shit about football games, which is obviously awesome.
Well, when you're broken and beat down as much as I have been by betting on football, you'll remember these, man. I'm like an elephant, Eric, just like the nails in here in the chat. Bunch of elephants. We don't forget a lot of this stuff. We don't forget.
Maybe Dennis Allen will kick a field goal to make it 2-score. Yep. Love that.
Honestly, I could see not where the field position where they are now, but like say this punt got blocked at the 15 and they ended up in like 4th and 28. I could see Allen kicking a field goal.
Yeah, he's a genius like that. I can't believe the Kyron Williams alt got effed by that holding penalty. I can, but
yeah, it's another day in the National Football League, just the way that Roger wants it.
Yeah, just put a 1-score game record on the Saints after this one if they get 8 here.
Oh, that's my favorite, the 1-score games. Hit him in the head, that punt. Hit him directly in the head.
Yeah, if you actually like get this thing, blocked, it's a touchdown probably.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get for having a punter who looks like the long snapper with that number 42.
God, man. The screen passes are too much.
Dude, I can't do this.
The screen passes are too much.
It's so bad. What do you think's going to happen? Oh, my God, they break it for 12 yards? What are we doing?
Do these guys know they need 2 touchdowns? Like, stop huddling. Call 2 plays in the huddle. What are we doing here?
Carr just works there, man. Like, any real quarterback would be cussing out Dennis Allen right now.
Go deep. Yes. Yes.
They got it. Yeah.
Perry. Let's go.
See, I told you DC4 is that's a good play.
I am getting myself an A.T. Perry Wake Forest jersey, baby. Let's go.
Look at DC4.
Score at the half in this game.
Oh,
17-7. This brings our Saints second half into play as well now. Like we're good on second half, whether they hit the 2-pointer or not, because it's tied. It'd be 13-13 second half.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all coming up,
day.
Pizza Man tonight. Had a cheese pizza before the show. 3 rum and eggnogs, some cashews. Gonna have to replicate everything if it holds on like this. Wow.
to ask the inverse
I
of
caught that with one hand.
Oh, it's a great catch. And we get the 2-point conversion to make it a 1-score game.
Now we need more Kyron. More Kyron. Love that.
let's go.
Look at DC4.
Oh, this is great, man.
Oh, can we get a meltdown here? We'll love a meltdown from the Rams.
I want to watch this one more time just to see if like OPI could have been called here.
He fully grabbed him. Fully grabbed him.
Yeah,
Fully grabbed him. That's
You know
fine.
what?
No, we don't call that.
Look,
Was that
we got to
Kobe
do
Durant?
more to help offense in this league now. That
I agree.
no, that was.
I mean,
OPI.
he's holding his jersey the whole way.
Yeah, it's so good. It's honestly like a great move. Did you see like the whole stopping and like getting the DB to run into you and then pushing off of him is actually that's actually like the body control there is actually legit.
Oh man,
God, Derek Carr.
my betting chat's going off the hook right now.
Derek Carr is such a prove.
I am wearing a Saints jersey, Eric. Eric Chernoff. Sorry, not Eric.
Is this the third time you're going to pat yourself on the back tonight?
Like the old Rams. That looks like the old Rams jersey, but is that Reggie Bush?
Yeah, it's Reggie Bush. I can't
Wow.
find my
Yeah.
Cooper Cup jersey somewhere. I think my brother took
But
it.
like those old Rams jerseys, the ones they had after they
the St. Louis ones.
those trades so far from God. Yeah, the like the navy blue ones were so awful.
Yeah, they were kind of crazy.
That was close.
I kind of want to get one now, but
Onside kick for the Saints, and Puka almost fucked this up here. Hit him right in the nuts. He's lucky.
wasn't it? It was Cooper Cup last week, I think, with the onside kick, who just whacked
He
it out of bounds.
swatted out of
Yeah.
bounds. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what you got
Well,
to do.
there wasn't an option here for this, so
Fair.
Koopa just let the ball hit him directly in the dick, and then he sat down on it afterwards. Yeah, took a little skip up into the lower sack, from what I could tell.
Never good. Never good.
Okay, in a perfect world for you, if we're gonna try to figure out onside kicks and like we've gotten from one extreme to another in my like now they're so hard for them to recover. What's the optimal recovery percentage for you to make like the game
NFL
interesting? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me in the modern, I would make it 1 in 6.
I love that you went with a 16.7%. I told someone on Twitter between 15 and 20% would be my optimal.
Yeah.
The team has to feel like they have a realistic chance.
Right, exactly. But now it's just like you got no shot because you can't run up.
Wow. Nakua was not feeling the nut shot because he just fucking bounced right off that tackle.
Yeah, he rumbled there.
Man, Puka Nakua, what a find in the late rounds here.
Dude, this Rams team, man. Demarcus Robinson's tilting the hell out of me. He was like terrible for the Chiefs, and now he's turned into Chris Carter. Yeah, the Rams.
You really got to wonder if it's because Mahomes throws a bad ball and Stafford just throws a better ball, right?
True. Vindication for for the haters. Do the Saints, do they have timeouts? They don't. Okay. I just need I need Kyron Williams to bust this off here.
Can he go down at the 1?
Oh, for your
second half Saints plus half.
Yeah.
Jason, do we still have the nut rankings? While we're at the 2-minute warning?
We do. I got them here.
Oh, look at this.
I added some titles to the
so we have the nuts, pantry staple, would buy on sale. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about those Brazilian cashews, but like I'll eat them. I just
are they last nut in the trail mix tier though?
Oh, it's a good question. Almonds are definitely a pantry staple.
I think I'd agree with that.
The nuts is a good
Pistachios are the nuts.
Pistachios are
the nuts.
I gotta put cashews up to the nuts as well.
Cashews are solid too. But if I had to pick one to be the nuts tier, it would be pistachios.
Okay, that's fair. And can I open something up to the chat here?
Yeah, go for it.
The chat has free reign to bump up and down a tier. They just have to donate. 99 cents, whatever you want to do. 50 cents, 1 cent,
69 cents. Make a 69-cent donation.
And we will move up or down a tier.
Those macadamia nuts on their own, those the ones that look like chickpeas.
Oh, these,
yeah, they are amazing in cookies, but they suck on their own. So, like, I would buy those on sale and tell my wife to bake up a batch of cookies. So I think would buy on sale.
They're a would buy on sale. What about? Are these walnuts or pecans?
I'm allergic to walnuts, so I don't have a good.
Those are pecans, right?
Okay, pecans. I like pecans. Yeah, pecans and
walnuts. They're a little weak, but yeah.
Pecans, I like put in the salad. I like pecan pie. That's because of all like the sugar. I'm not. They're edible, I guess. Maybe edible.
I like to have yogurt as my breakfast, and I put pecans in there.
What are these other nuts that are here?
These are hazelnuts.
Those are hazelnuts?
Yeah.
Hazelnuts are in Nutella.
Yeah. So it's like.
But like I'm not eating hazelnuts on their own.
They're disgusting on their own. They're disgusing on their own.
Yeah, I don't know about hazelnuts. Are they even edible?
I don't know. What is this? I can't even see.
Those look. I don't know what is that. It looks like coconut shavings.
I was gonna say it looks like cocaine, but
shaved coconut. I'm not a huge coconut guy, but I'll eat it.
Is coconut a nut? I guess coconut is a nut. Is it a nut?
Is
coconut a nut?
It grows on trees.
Do nuts grow on trees? I actually don't even know how nuts grow. I guess they do grow on trees. That was that makes sense.
You should consult your doctor next time you go for a visit. He'll give you a close up of some nuts. A coconut is a fruit, not a nut.
So then are nuts fruits? Because don't walnuts also grow on? Is a walnut a fruit?
Could they not have labeled these nuts in addition to the pictures? I'm done with this. I'm done with the tier ranking of the nuts due to lack of labeling. Jesus Christ, these people, man. They expect me to know every single nut that's going to be in a trail mix.
Apparently almonds aren't nuts either. I don't know what they are then.
Are almonds a nut? They do not meet the botanical definition of a true nut.
Oh, because a nut is from a
You
fruit.
missed the dad joke that they are nut.
Okay, I'm out.
I'm not a dad, Eric. I'm aged like a dad, but I'm not a dad, so I'm not qualified to make dad jokes. Oh man, is McVay going to kick the field goal? That's a damn good question, and the answer is probably yes. Which, would suck.
I just need.
They drew offside. They drew him offside.
I just need a 5-yard run, 15-yard run by Kyron Williams. This is 3rd and 6 though.
It's gonna be 3rd and 1.
Right. You can break one off, kneel down at the 5-yard line, and we're good.
That's it, man.
Come on, dog.
God, I love Kyron Williams, man.
He's a good ball player.
He is a good ball player.
Just out of curiosity here, did you guys have any insight into I know, Eric, you talked about DeMarcus obviously like 5 minutes ago, but did you have any insight into like him playing over Tutu Atwell today? Like, because I mean, I assumed just in general that Tutu Atwell, once he was back, he'd just be playing, but it seems like DeMarcus
Robinson played really well, so they're just keeping it.
Fair.
Yeah, I just think
just earned a spot.
Is that a first down? No.
I don't know. I haven't seen the play yet. You're ahead of me now.
No, I mean the offside is not a first down.
No, it's not. It's 3rd and 3/4 yard. That's what the naked eye is seeing right now, 3/4 yard. I can't find a Foster Moreau jersey anywhere. I think I would be able to. He's my new guy, by the way. Colby Parkinson is old news. Mm-hmm. Foster Moreau is the new guy. The new white tight end that is so they take a timeout here. They let it wind down to 42 seconds. What down is it right now? Third down. They can kneel on the ball.
Well, if they don't pick this up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they can just kneel on it.
You just have Stafford run around for a little bit. Everybody holds somebody, and then you throw it down the field.
Yeah. Well, you can't throw it, right? You want to stay in bounds.
No, what I'm saying is that like you have everyone hold.
Oh yeah. Sure.
And then you fire the ball a mile in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you even need. I think they might just take a knee here, because South Florida absolutely kicking the piss out of Syracuse. Syracuse -3, by the way.
What is an orange man?
Dude, I don't know. I have. This is misanthropic. When I look at what to play in the bowl games, having my experience with PFF, I almost always go exactly their model, because I know that no one there is taking into account who's playing and who's sitting in that game.
They took enough time on this kneel. It's going to run the clock out.
Yeah, it's over, Johnny.
It's done. Yeah, what the hell is an orange man? I really need to figure that out. Is that like a ginger? Like my friend Cam Stewart?
God, the Rams are 8-7.
Saints suck. You love to see it. Well, enjoy the cabin in the woods in Wisconsin.
Will do, man.
Consumer Sports. Didn't get to see Jameis tonight, unfortunately, but we saw a good fourth quarter, and I say that because I think I won all the prop bets tonight. Jamal Williams under 5.5 carries. What a terrible, terrible number. They're just giving us money tonight. All right, Eric.
All right, man. Take care. See you Monday.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You too.
All right. Eric Eager, everyone. Great game tonight. And like, I don't know if it's just because we had guests all the way throughout and some fresh blood. Really had a flow to it. It didn't feel like a 5-hour game like some of these that we usually do. Appreciate all of the nails in the chat as well. Flew by.
Feels like a shorter game too. Sorry, just wanted to get my.
No, it's all right. Do you have any other picks that you won that you want to tout for the people as well? Let them know.
No, I'm good.
You're good.
I'll save that for the next show. The next show.
Okay. Can save it for the next show. You heard him. You heard the porn guy. Next show. I'll remind everyone one last time. smash that like button down below before you end the stream tonight. If you're not subbed here on Forward Progress and you watch all the time, just hit the sub button. Goes a long way to helping us monetize. It'd be very much appreciated if you do so. If you're in Canada, make sure you check out Pinnacle. I swear at some point we're going to give away these hoodies. And they're good hoodies, man. They're like champion hoodies. They're bangers. Very comfortable. Whew. Solid. Make sure you check them out if you're in Canada. We talk about their odds over the course of the live stream all the time. You know how it is at this point. If you're not line shopping, you're not trying. That's going to be it for me. Just want to say, everyone out there, happy holidays. Hope you enjoy them. Stay safe out there. I'm planning to be back on Christmas night, Monday, December 25th. It's the Ravens and 49ers. If you're with your family, nothing you can do. Or actually, you know what? Maybe you want to pull that up in the household that you're in. Let the family know that there's this crazy Canadian guy, Rob Pizzola, that does live streams. But if you don't, just enjoy it with your family. Have a good one. This has been another Forward Progress live watch along right here on the Hammer Betting Network, powered by Pinnacle Sportsbook. Stay safe, everyone. Merry Christmas to all that celebrate, and I'll catch everyone back here on Christmas Day.